can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar.
Good evening, loyal listeners, libertarians, lovers of the Leaf, and everyone out there in Facebook land. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Facebook Live, KMA Talk Radio, uncut, unfiltered, cursing is involved. It's going to be an awesome show.
In front of a live audience.
Yeah, it was my next point. In front of a live studio audience who we're feeding libations to because, well, that's what we do here at KMA Talk Radio. With me, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Honest Abe himself.
Yes, good to be here. It's cool to be in front of a live audience again. I kind of miss being in the studio. Thank you.
Yes.
And libations being served by our lovely KMA kid and Paula. Hi, KMA Paula.
How you doing? Thanks. How you doing?
And graciously,
Adam's putting on his girl voice.
yes.
Is that not the appropriate move in this scenario?
I mean, it's cool, but I think she's probably over
it's
it by
the
now.
Me Too thing, Adam. Good job.
Thank you.
As the Red Meat Lovers Club likes to say, the meat too.
Meat
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Me
Pink
too.
and
The meat
juicy.
too. But that was Richard Lewis, the whiskey baron of Clyde Mays Whiskey. Richard, thank you once again for bringing the libations for our wonderful guests and ourselves out here. Pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure always to see everybody. I just want to let you know I talked with L.C. May, the grandson of Clyde Mays.
Yes.
And he said to send his best to all of you.
One of our most interesting shows having him on. It was really cool.
He's great.
The history in the background. We got to do that again.
We will. So
Yeah.
next time he comes into town, I will make sure that we get him in.
Yeah,
to
the
be
history in
able
the
to do it.
background has been awesome. And to my right, of course, old friend, what I call you, the Great White Gringo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's the nickname I've dubbed on you, the Great White Gringo. Terence Reilly
I've been called worse.
of Avaga Norson Leaf. Welcome and thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks for
Pleasure.
being here.
It's probably the greatest night of our lives.
Hope so.
Hopefully, at the end, we'll be able to say we've had the time of our lives.
Right?
All right.
Can I
Dirty
sing the
dancing
song?
reference? No.
Oh, all right.
No.
Uh,
No singing, Paul.
Richard, while we got you here, because
Yes,
I know
sir.
you're going to have to head out soon, since you've last been on, you've extremely expanded the portfolio of your brand.
Yes, we have. It's been growing at an exponential rate, and it's like a snowball that just went over the hill, and it is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So what are some of the new products you have out now?
Okay, we just introduced the last 2 weeks. We introduced Clyde Mays Rye, which is a 94 proof rye. We are introducing a 10-year-old cash strength bourbon that's 117 proof. We've been drinking the Alabama style 10-year-old and 9-year-old.
Alabama!
Roll Tide.
Alabama! Roll Clyde.
Hi. Roll
I
Clyde.
see what you
And
did
then
there.
we will be introducing 50 mLs of Clyde Mays in December.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
To put them in liquor stores, and they're going to be able to sell them for $2 for $5. We've realized that the whole thing with Clyde Mays is L to L, which is liquid to lips, and getting people to taste it as we are doing right here with your wonderful audience that you have for tonight, and doing it in your places, tasting
All right.
people on it. They
Nice.
taste it and they go, "Wow, this is incredible whiskey," and it's L to L, liquid
You're
to
a
lips.
whiskey man.
Indeed.
Hey, what do you think?
It's delightful.
You like it?
I am.
Yeah.
Look,
It's gone.
it's gone.
We have more.
That's the best estimate I can give you.
We have more.
There's a whole bottle there.
Yes, and this is one of our favorite. This is the Clyde Mays 117 proof 9-year-old cash strength Alabama style.
So
And that'll put some hair on your chest.
I actually gave that as a gift to my
3.
father-in-law, my stepfather-in-law, and my father for our wedding, to thank them for helping us out with our wedding.
Did you get it for free?
No, I paid for it. He made me pay for it.
No,
He gave me a great deal.
no,
I just checking.
but he's been taken care of in the manner he and his wife have been accustomed to.
I don't know what that means.
That's almost scary. Actually.
He said to me, "If it's free, it's for me." It's a very New York.
Yeah,
I
that
almost
sounds a
forgot.
lot like Paul.
I almost forgot there's a Paul can.
Why are you doing that
We don't
now?
want that? Oh, all right. I'll take your. I'll
Oh
get
my
rid of it.
God.
Adam,
Well, thank you very much, Richard. I greatly appreciate that.
I'll have some
absolutely.
because compared to this drink they made me, this is gonna be like bubble gum.
This is like bubble gum to the lips. And once it hits the lips,
This drink they made me here is deteriorating the inner lining of my.
Richard, I'll try a bit of that.
Try
You don't
it.
mind?
oh,
Not a problem.
it's so smooth, just so clean, and so lovely.
Oh, look at the KMA
Paula.
kid on point.
On point. Too bad with
Boom.
next time I'll bring you a tray.
Wow.
Oh, I thank you.
So how's
you're
the last time we talked? You working on the new facility?
Right, the new
What's
facility.
the scoop on the new facility?
Okay, we had to back off a little bit because we're waiting for
No.
the Alabama government
Right.
to put some laws into place so that we're able to serve alcohol at the facility, and we're going to build an entertainment complex and a restaurant bar there. And
Where you hope to make the
at Troy, Alabama. We're looking to break ground in December of this year, 2018. So 18 to 24 months from this December,
Ooh, that's a long
we
time.
will be ready to open and do what we need to do.
and we'll be doing a live broadcast
yes,
that weekend.
I've already
We're all set up for this.
I've already gotten the corporate office to approve it. I said, okay, before you guys start bringing people in, KMA Radio and Smokin' in Florida, they do a huge event every February, and they've invited us to be there every year. I've invited them to come and do a live broadcast at the Troy Distillery as soon
Nice.
as it opens.
Looking
People
forward
helping
to it.
people.
Yeah.
You want to come up for that?
When is it?
24 months from December.
18 to 24 months from December.
Yeah.
Put it on your
Put me on.
calendar.
Yeah, put me down. You're free.
Terrence, put it on your calendar and put it in pen,
Yeah,
not pencil.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is really good stuff, and
It is.
I am not. I know it's going to make me seem and look very unmanly.
No,
but
it's
I'm
not.
not a whiskey
This-
connoisseur.
this-
not a whiskey.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Abe, that's a perfect point.
It is so
This
not
is
a judgment-free zone.
This is
Yeah, I
for mature palated whiskey people. It's also for people that want to get into whiskey because it's so clean, it's so smooth.
Yeah.
It's as clean as Irish whiskey, smooth as cognac. There is no whiskey that can make that statement
No, it's
in
it's
America.
very actually enjoyable. And,
And-
like I said, I'm
Thank
not
you.
typically a whiskey
And Richard
guy.
knows
Yeah.
because he worked for all the competitors in the past.
Yeah, I've worked for Scotch. I've worked for Jameson. I've worked for Macallan's. I've worked for J&B. I've worked for Cuddy,
How long now
Glenlivet.
have you been with
41 years I've been in the business.
Industry.
September
Would you
September
start
1.
when you were 12?
No.
41 years.
I got out of college and said it doesn't suck drinking for a living.
How old are you?
I'm going to be 63 next
Good
week.
for you. Got what? See, whiskey's good, clean living.
Yeah, I
Look.
guess so.
I've been trying to say that
Holy
for
cow.
years.
Really?
No, it doesn't work for you.
No, that's-
So doesn't work for
The-
you.
Nobody
It's
wants
like,
to
it's like
listen.
milk. It's
Listen,
like
he
some
came in
people
my
can't
office.
take it.
True story. He came in my office to hand me paperwork the other day. He's like, I said, you were drinking last night, weren't you? Like, well, yeah.
Well,
Doesn't
number
work for you.
you know,
I think he shakes anyway, though.
Bro, it was like,
He's probably nervous coming into your office.
yeah, that could be true.
Yeah.
That could be true, too.
Every time he goes in there, he
Listen,
gets screamed
I'm
at.
gonna get yelled at.
Listen, if
Yeah.
he hasn't died or disappeared by now, he's safe.
The shaking would be worse if he didn't drink when he went in.
if you remember,
There you go.
if you remember for Father's Day, I gave your daughter a gift to give to
She
you.
did give it to me,
Right.
which freaked my wife
I
out,
know.
by the way.
You told me.
My daughter comes to the radio show every now and then. So they all do, but the oldest mostly. So he had given her a little 2-bottle set. It was cute.
It was a Father's Day gift
Yeah.
pack of the 85 original and the 92
Right.
bourbon, and I said, "Here, give this to your dad for Father's Day."
And
goes,
she actually
"Oh, great."
gift wrapped it and put it under the tree without telling my wife. So, Christmas, was it Father's Day? or Christmas?
Father's
Day.
Day.
Father's Day.
Yeah, the kids will hand me this. My wife she hands it to me. I open it up, and of course, I know where she got it from at this point. My wife goes, "Who's that from?" I said,
How the
"Petra,
hell
she
did
just
you
get-"
buy that?
Yeah, she goes, "How did she get this?" I don't know, Petra. How did you get this? And my little daughter looks at me like, "What am I supposed to say?" And my wife starts flipping out. So
He did it.
it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. It
Right.
was
So
good.
this holiday season, we're going to have an original 85 750 gift pack with a flask. People are tired
I
of
like that.
people are tired of glasses in there. And so we decided to put a flask in there because people, when they go to events, they would like to have something that they can sip on a little whiskey if they need to.
I can practically hide my, problem from
Yeah.
everybody else with the flask.
And to be in this business for 41 years, I've had to be extremely responsible. I mean, my job depends on it. I mean, I drink, but I have to drink responsibly, and I
No,
tell
everybody should
everybody,
drink responsibly,
right?
absolutely.
And I tell everybody, okay, don't drink responsibly, sip responsibly, especially Clyde Mays.
No,
And
this
it
is good
works out
stuff.
well.
Thanks again for sponsoring KMA Late Night Uncut, the official sponsor of our show, and love the libations. Thank you so much.
And
My
what do they
pleasure.
have up there, Richard, so that our live studio audience knows? What alcohol do they have? What Clyde Mays?
Up on the bar.
Up on the bar
Up on the
tonight.
bar is the Clyde Mays Original 85 proof, which is his original recipe that he started out with, and we've carried on. To anybody that's on Facebook, we have a Facebook page called Clyde Mays Keeping His Legacy Alive in Florida, and I post all of the KMA stuff on that Clyde Mays Keeping His Legacy Alive in Florida whenever it's
Cool.
on. So it's great. In fact, I just did the September 13th show that you guys had. I was over in Naples, or I would have been here.
Oh, the first KMA late night. that
Yes.
we did.
The first
Yes.
KMA late
I
night
like
sponsored
this.
in part
I
by
like
Clyde
this.
Mays Alabama-style whiskey.
He was all over plugging the whiskey. Well, cheers.
Alabama.
Oh,
Alabama.
you need
And
some
this
sipping.
truly, this is the only way
Cheers.
to sip.
Cheers.
Sorry,
Salute.
fixing the
Cheers,
problems.
everybody.
Salute.
Wow. Anybody got a crazy straw?
Those are illegal now.
Crazy straws?
Straws.
Oh yeah,
Straws in
paper
general.
crazy straw.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get into that, all the stupid illegal stuff that's going on. I got a story. I'm just going to tweak it now.
Go.
I'm going to tweak it now. We're going to talk about later in the show how Manchester University in England has now banned clapping in school.
You're going to have to be more detailed.
What happens if you have a clap
Okay.
on and clap off?
They, I don't want to get into it. No, I'm just going to leave it as they banned clapping. They banned clapping, and I will. Thank you.
Look, our
I
rebels
will-
in the
I will-
audience.
You are all suspended from Manchester University.
I will explain later on the show when we get to that why it was banned and what they're doing there. It's completely absurd. I mean, I tell you, I used to be afraid of dying, saying one day eventually I'm going to get old and die. And the way I look at everything going, I'm kind of happy I might not be around 20 or 30 years from now.
Exactly.
Ah,
I'm
40.
feeling the same.
Yeah,
I'm,
okay.
Hopefully
Don't cut
40.
it too
I'm
short.
feeling the same way at this point.
I
That
don't know what's going on
we're,
with these people.
we're becoming our parents, and we're looking at the next generation and what everything that's going on.
No,
and
there
going.
was no generation like this generation coming up. I mean, it's absurd.
We said that about us.
Baloney. Baloney. Don't agree with that.
Every
Because
generation.
I was that generation, we were just whacked. You can't clap at school. I mean,
Yes.
this isn't preschool or kindergarten. This is a university.
But Abe, what did they say to you when you watch too much TV? You're sitting there watching the boob tube. You're never going to amount to anything if you sit in front of the boob
well,
tube.
once cable
it doesn't
was
help.
once we got cable installed, it was really the boob tube.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
So our first boobies on TV.
Showtime.
Oh yeah.
Showtime
No,
HBO.
Well, no,
Cinemax.
Showtime HBO. I don't know if this is a local thing because I get caught with this a lot.
Go ahead.
I'll mention something from my childhood, thinking
Yeah.
that it's common knowledge to everybody, and then I realize, oh, this was only like a Chicago thing. Nobody has a clue what I was talking about. But was on TV a thing for everybody? On TV. So there was on TV was like. I can't hear you. Say that again.
On TV?
Listen,
What's
if
on
you
TV?
if you caught it just right, it would straighten out
Oh,
sometimes.
you're talking about
Listen to
watching
me.
scrambled TV like
Well, no,
Spice Network
on
or
TV was the first cable network. It's the first cable channel. There wasn't cable. It was just like on TV.
Yes.
That's what it was. And I used to believe as a kid that they would let those lines unscramble on purpose.
it was a promotional
For,
thing.
yeah, because you get hooked on watching it. But the best is when you know there was like Porky's was on or something, and the lines are scrambling, and you're a kid, and you're trying to get in your first nudies on TV. But yeah, on TV, I wasn't sure if that was a Chicago thing or a national thing. But yeah, on TV was like the first cable network.
Yeah, and
I mean, at least that I know of.
don't you remember those cable boxes that you could buy that you would get every channel?
Black boxes. Yeah.
Black
Wait, wait,
boxes.
you're not going that far
Oh, the
back.
cheater
There were
cheater
black-
boxes.
Yeah.
But you're not going that far back.
You had
I'm
to know a
going-
guy.
Yeah.
I'm going on TV had to be 40, 50.
80.
Yeah, 35 years ago plus.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
75 to like
long
80.
time ago.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's funny.
that is funny.
Well, we want to thank Richard and Clyde
Absolutely.
Mays because it's amazing having you guys be a part of this thing. And I think our live studio audience is enjoying the Clyde Mays
Yes.
too, right guys?
Yes. I probably should have eaten a little more before I started.
There's
We'll
still
get you a
time. There's still
sandwich.
time.
just sip responsibly.
I'm sipping.
You are. You always do.
I'm sipping. So Terence, we got you on. I'm
Yes,
getting
sir.
ready to light up the cigar. What is this I'm lighting up here?
The Aganor Salif signature.
Thank you, sir.
So this is our latest and greatest.
It's
release.
nice looking band.
Thank you very much. Also has some gold foil on there. You obviously took it off, but
Well,
presentation.
you
is
can't
very
light
nice.
the gold
Oh.
foil. I don't
That's
want to light
true.
the gold foil.
Thank you.
I'll show it because it does make
Now I
it
understand why
stand
you're on
out.
the show. Thank you.
Oh, here, I got another one here. All right, there.
I have
What
it.
camera am I on? Oh, there you go. Paul's got it.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
this cigar is kind of highlights
Da, da, da.
our abilities as a vertically integrated company. We have Medio Tiempo in the blend. Medio Tiempo is the top primings of the plant. So there's Seco, Viso, Ligero, and then above that is Medio Tiempo. It's a tobacco that's kind of been made famous by Cohiba, because Cohiba in Cuba was one of the first to kind of make it famous. And to give you an idea, we harvest 14,000 bales of tobacco a year. Out of that 14,000, 50 to 80 are Medio Tiempo. It's a very small percentage. And it's an unusual looking leaf. There's only a few at the top. Not every plant even produces them. And it's thick. It's like alligator skin. It's a very unusual leaf. And we use about a half leaf in this blend just to add some depth and structure to it. If you put too much in, it's kind of like Tabasco sauce. It blows out the blend.
Like Abe's drink.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Rip shot for you.
I'm waiting for this to eat through the plastic and start leaking out the bottom.
That's gotta love that habanero hot sauce.
Oh my God, he
yeah.
made it so nuclear.
You gotta
Need a little more ice in there or something?
Yeah, I need a little more ice.
Yeah.
Wait, let's let Richard. Richard has an early morning tomorrow, so let's let him go. Adam, if you bring him down.
Yep.
Thank
we'll
you to
bring you down.
Richard.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Oop.
My pleasure.
Thank
I
you.
am always going to make myself available
Thank you, sir.
to come on your show because you have helped to make Clyde Mays happen in Florida.
Oh, thank you.
That's a
Thank you.
quote.
And one thing I just want to let you know, when we first started, I was in Total Wine and I was in ABC.
Mm-hmm.
We are now in Total Wine, ABC, Winn-Dixie, Publix, Walgreens, Walmart, and Big Daddy's.
Well, that's the effect KMA Radio has.
Obviously.
Exactly. And it's liquid to lips, and it's people talking about the brand with their friends going, have you bought one? And being able to get it at all these different places. Thank you for
No,
carrying
thank
it at
you.
Smokin'. Thank everybody for being here tonight and trying our whiskey. And everybody always be safe and happy holidays coming up.
All right, give it up for
Richard
Lewis.
Lewis, everybody. Clyde Mays Whiskey, the best Alabama-style whiskey you can find. Make sure you find it at your local liquor store.
Here at KMA Radio, where we
and
still
KMA
clap.
Radio. We
Where
still clap every single time. It's what we do. We are here to clap
still
for the
allowed.
people. Good to see you, Richard. All right, he's got an early morning. We got to get that going. All right, let me take this out. Hold on, Terrence.
He
Sorry.
unplugged you on accident.
No, I had to unplug the other one so it wouldn't
Oh.
pick up the extra feed.
There you go.
Yeah.
Am I unplugged or am
No,
I?
you're
No,
good.
you're good.
No, you're good now.
You're good.
No, so they have the O factor, like Oprah recommends something and it becomes a big thing. There's the A factor.
The A
for
factor, is that what it
Yeah,
is?
so
The
yeah,
A
now we have the A factor.
Absolutely.
So listen, obviously in this type of a show, we're kind of changing our format. We're going to talk more about current events, but I do want to talk a little bit about cigars and where you're at.
Okay.
You know, obviously you were with your family business for the longest time. It's how you got into business.
Yes, sir.
And you now have been with Aganorsa Leaf. And how's the transition been? Give us an update.
It's been great. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it's been it's more or less exactly what I thought it was, except it's gone much faster. Like when you join a company, you want to under-promise and over-deliver, because if you say you're going
Right.
to be here and then
Look
you're
like a
here,
hero. It's
yeah,
good
yeah,
as zero,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
You know, you say here and it's here, they're not happy. You say here and they're happy, even though this is lower than that. So, but if you'd privately said, hey, what do you think you'll really do the first year? I would have never said what we've done. I mean, we've crushed it. I mean, it's really been incredible.
How hard was it to get everybody to buy in on changing the branding of the company to Aganorsa?
Which is one of the hardest things to do at any company.
And worse with Latin people.
Yeah.
Oh.
Trust me.
Oh, yes.
Why do you say that? Because they're
Hard-headed.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Extremely
And
hard-headed.
rooted in tradition.
Very rooted.
And plus, logistically, I mean, it's not just you put up a new, flag or something. I mean, you have invoices, you have business cards, you have emails, you have endless amount of things that have to be changed, and sometimes it's not really done well, and you can kind of, it doesn't get across. So, but they were very open to it, to be quite frank. I think they were one of the reasons I ended up coming here is that they were very open. I didn't want to go someplace where they wanted to do everything the exact same way, and I would be there, and that was somehow going to make a difference.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, so I wanted to be able to kind of make changes as needed.
Well, you did get a bunch of offers.
Yeah,
You
no,
weren't
I was very lucky.
You weren't limited in where you can go.
No, I was very lucky. I
Want
had
to share with us where you didn't go?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Come
No.
on.
Give us a hint.
No.
You don't have to tell us exactly
No,
where.
and I would have been very lucky to have gone to any of them. They're all great companies, but I ultimately picked Aganorsa. I just saw a huge opportunity, and I felt that they were in the right place where, when I made recommendations to things that need to be done, they were going to listen, and I was going to have a lot of control over that process. So
So are there still like family get-togethers?
Yeah, I saw.
Do you get together with the family? Are there like awkward moments?
No, it's not awkward at
Just
all.
like,
no.
you know,
I bet my
you're not the
uncle.
black
Then
sheep
you will
yet.
come up to you and say, "Oh, so how's business?"
No.
I mean, before they show up, they're like, "Is Terence gonna be there?"
Yeah, I go to parties, nobody's there but me. No, no, it's been great. Every week I bet my uncle on the Patriots game. I gave him way more points than I should. If the spread's like Patriots by 7, I give him like 25 because he just beats me over the head until I get my whatever. Okay, so I lose. I won this past week, fortunately, despite
There you go.
my ridiculous spread that I gave him. But other than that, I keep losing every week. But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, everything's good. I have no hard feelings. It was an amazing opportunity. I loved working there. I'm very proud of what I did there. It was just time, and that's that.
I'm trying to get some nitty gritty out of you.
There's no stay on. I can make some stuff up if you'd like.
Come on.
There's
You left the family business. Well, look, I'll be honest with you, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm not saying this because you're here, but I, as a retailer, have already seen the operational differences you left in the company. It's definitely not the same. You may not want to hear it, or you may not be happy to hear it, but I'm just being honest with you. We're having a talk. And I'm not even inferring whether it's a testament to you or not a testament to you. But my opinion is whatever machinations that occurred that developed to you leaving the organization and how they're choosing to move forward hasn't resonated well on a retail level. It just hasn't. It hasn't resonated well in just the communications, the dealing, the operations. So, I got to
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, really.
Listen, I believe you are.
Yeah.
I totally believe that you are definitely a class act, and you definitely don't want to hear that. But, yeah, I don't think that anybody there really has the pulse anymore. I think they're losing the pulse of what's going on. And it's a shame because your uncle's like one of my favorite guys. He's best friends with one of my mentors, Sal Fontaine, in the business for years. And, I'm not sure if he has an awareness or control or what's up, but on a retail level, it's definitely felt, and I think the relationship is not as good or as strong as it used to be. But on the upside is our relationship with Casa Fernandez has gotten a whole lot better.
Better than it ever was, right?
Aganor Salif, sorry.
Casa Fernandez is Aganor Salif.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to take, listen, it took us a while to transition from Kiss My Ash Radio to KMA Talk Radio, so
Yeah. No,
bear with me.
I get it.
We'll get
Those
it.
who are keeping track at home, that means drink.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I'm mixing vodka and whiskey. Is this a good thing?
No, but
It doesn't sound promising.
I may need
fall
to
out of
Uber
it.
home.
Yeah.
it'll make for a good radio show, though.
I don't know about that. So what's in the horizon? Anything new? Any new projects you're working on?
Well, we just came out with this. This just launched. We made 500 boxes of each of 4 different sizes.
And that's it. 500 boxes.
Yeah. We're gonna do it again next year. Again with the Medio Tiempo, we don't get a lot of it, and it's it's a very
Are the 500 boxes gone?
yeah.
They're gone. History.
So, well, I mean they're retail,
Right.
But yeah, we don't have.
So
it.
if you want this cigar, you better find it quick somewhere. Your local brick and mortar.
They are
retailer.
quite tasty, I have to
You'll
say.
know it. You'll know it
meaty.
immediately with the gold foil on it.
Yeah, so,
Oh, you'll recognize it immediately.
Yeah, you'll
okay.
know it.
I wasn't
See
sure what
it.
you were trying to say.
yeah.
It was
I mean,
a little
honestly,
mixed
neither
signal.
was I didn't know either. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Paul not having a hat on is throwing me off. The baldness. that
Sorry, I was so hot over
I'm not
here.
regularly exposed to is distracting, but
I'll put my hat back on.
I just not used to you looking at you. He actually, I was in West Palm this week, and he walked in unannounced to me. I didn't know
Really?
he was going to be in the area.
I didn't know you were going to be
Right,
there.
and he walked in without his hat on, and I didn't know who he was. He just walked right by me. I was like, oh, crap, Paul.
You know what's
Holy
funny,
cow.
though? The guy from Red Meat Lovers Club, what's his
Evan.
name? Evan actually recognized me before you did.
Well,
He was
you
like,
guys-
oh, hey, Paul.
You guys can see eye to eye a little bit. I'm, two short guys.
You act like you're that much taller than
I
me.
just feel a lot taller than
You're
you.
maybe 3 inches taller
I
than me.
feel a lot taller. Hey, listen, 3 inches. Ask a woman what difference 3 inches makes. It makes a difference. It's a big difference.
Ooh.
What?
I don't know, I'm just saying.
We're uncut.
I know we
Yeah,
haven't
okay, this
cursed,
is uncut.
and we haven't cursed once. Just so you know,
I
I've been
think I might
keeping
have
track.
cursed at this point.
No,
I
I'm telling you.
thought I said something in the very opening.
Listen, after years and years of doing radio and training ourselves not to curse, it's like unnatural.
The
to
second the
curse.
headsets
On
come
the
It
on,
really is.
On the
because
headset.
I have sailor mouth all day long. So it's like I don't even think about it. I put the headset on and
You don't want any FCC violations.
well, this one doesn't get
I
broadcast.
know, but
right.
that's what
After
that-
5
it
or
trains
6
you,
years of
yeah.
doing the show.
Well, the good thing is we don't get the fines from the FCC.
Yeah,
the
the radio
stations
station
do.
does.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, we technically don't get fined.
Well,
the radio station does.
You know, it goes downhill, you know.
No, it doesn't actually.
Right?
the most they do is kick us off the station. But being we're probably one of the only 1 or 2 paying people that they have, I don't think we're not gonna, I don't think the station's really going to do anything.
They're not in the place to get anything about it.
They like keeping the lights on. They're not worried about the FCC violations more than that.
I figured that I'd be cursing like a sailor because I had a little bit of an issue yesterday. I think.
Are we going to hear about this tooth now for 3 weeks in a row?
You don't want to hear? I had a
Dude,
huge issue.
so-
I
even know
almost
about
wasn't
this.
here today.
I even know about this.
So I had a root canal that failed that I had to have pulled. And apparently pulling a root canal is a little bit more difficult than getting a root canal and pulling a regular tooth. So whatever. It's a week and a half ago. I was fine. And yesterday I stepped outside of my office and mouthful of blood. Spit it out. Mouthful of blood. Keeps coming, pouring out of the tooth. So I race to the dentist's office. They're closed. I call the 24-hour line. They give me all these home remedies to do. I had a lot of pain. And so long story short, I'm on painkillers and I'm sipping Clyde Mays.
Good. Makes for a good combination.
Painkillers and Clyde Mays.
Yeah, you didn't
Don't
have
do
any
this
to
at
talk
home.
about root canals, did you?
I dude. I can't.
Sorry.
And now the show has
Just wanna
completely gone
make sure,
downhill.
I wasted my
The
time.
bum out section of the show brought to you in part by Paul.
Hey,
Thanks, Paul.
He's the best we can afford. That's just
We don't have the sound effects
hold on.
here.
I know, but
Yeah, hang on. Got to plug it back
Oh.
in. Hold on.
all right.
Plugging it back in.
So
There
I
you
want
go.
to get into a topic that's pretty hot and talked about right now in world affairs.
Can I just go on one quick tangent before we get into this?
You can.
I did not watch any of the hearings whatsoever that
Oh,
took
really?
place. The
Really?
only- yeah.
You know, let me tell you how insane it was.
Oh, no. That's the point I'm getting
My
into.
shipping department guys had their iPhone on during the day,
Wow.
watching the hearing, because that's how they wanted to know. What
I didn't do any work that day. I watched it the whole time.
You
So-
too.
Yeah.
your
So,
tooth was bothering you.
then
Yeah.
I watched the SNL recap on Sunday morning, right?
Well, that's what I did. I did a lot of after. I didn't watch any of the hearings,
Right.
but I did a lot. After.
And I watched the SNL, and I was like, what the hell? Did they really? And then I found out later, that was all shit he said.
Yeah.
He said that shit in a hearing to be a Supreme Court judge. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding
You're
me.
losing Abe. You're losing Abe now.
No, I'm not
If you're
losing
complaining
him.
about
I
him.
mean, what is it you didn't like that he said?
Okay, the fact that he kept going, I drank beers, I still like beer.
That was awesome.
Do you like beer?
I do love beer, but the fact that he just went on these
Listen,
rants and
listen,
this is my speech. I wrote it.
This is what he did. He gave an interview before he did that, about a week before, where he sat there very calmly and he denied everything, and then they condemned him. They're like, oh, he's not denying it strong enough, and he's never going to be able to get through. And so they told him, you got to come out and strongly and vehemently deny this. And that's what he did. And if he had sat there and been like, no, I didn't know this ever happened, he sat there like that, that's
and-
maybe how it should be.
And
but
the calendar
he's done.
from 1982, that was that was crazy. Who has a 1982 calendar? Who has a 2017 calendar?
His dad saved all his records.
Yeah.
So, do you do anything like that, either one of you? Because
I have.
I do now.
I have a diary.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I have it. I started a journal years ago. It fell off.
Yeah,
But it was
okay.
really funny because I was reading. I just come across it again. I did a little house cleaning, and I was reading some excerpts I wrote about my wife at the time, who
Oh, it's that far. Okay.
who I had just started dating. Okay, and that's a good
Dear-
20 years ago.
Dear
almost.
diary,
Well, no, it
I
wasn't a
wish
diary.
you would be mine.
I'm going to impress all you cigar guys out there. Back in the day, in the boom, there was a very popular book that was being sold in cigar shops all across the country. You may remember this, but it was called a Cigar Dossier, and it was a big black book that basically every cigar you smoke, you took the label off, you glued it on there,
Ah.
you wrote the date, right, and you're supposed to write your description of the cigar. I
Right.
did the opposite.
you wrote.
I'd smoke a cigar, label it, date it, and then I just write what was going on in my life at the time.
That's cool.
And it's about a 4 or 5 year thing before I finally either lost the book or fell off. But I still have this book. And it's really cool because I didn't read it to my wife yet. But a lot of it toward the end is right when I first met my wife and started dating my wife. And a lot of it's about her and how much I think, wow, this could be the one.
Is it romantic stuff?
No, some of it's life stuff, some of it's business. When my business wasn't doing well.
Right.
Just whatever was going on, I just documented it. So, yeah, there are people who do that. But, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people right now. Well, 14, including our kitten, sitting in the room. I just want to honest show of hands. Nobody in Facebook land is seeing, but how many people feel that Kavanaugh's guilty? Raise your hand.
Do I count?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I already had you down as guilty. So that's about 4 people in the room who feel that he's guilty. Now, I take it you obviously didn't feel as guilty.
I don't think that they showed any evidence. Again, so put it this way. If your sister comes up to you and says, this guy did this to me, you believe her, right? Immediately you say, I believe her. And then if your brother comes up to you and says, I'm being accused of this and I didn't do it, you believe him, right? Yep. So that's what we do. Everyone does that. And that's fine, of course. But for society at large, nobody really knows either of these people. All we can use is evidence. And there's no real evidence of any of this.
The burden of proof is on
But that's the problem.
So that's what scares me, is that, like, you can just, I mean, you could have Salem witch trials, be like, oh, I saw, the devil said this, and then, okay, we'll bring you to stake.
I have an argument with my wife on a regular basis because I don't believe in sleepovers. I don't want my kids sleeping over everywhere. I don't want nobody's kids sleeping in my house.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Because the last thing I want is some little girl running home telling her daddy I touched her the wrong way.
Right.
Liability.
Okay? That shit happens.
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Duke lacrosse.
Okay, it does happen. Now, I would never, ever, ever look sideways at a little girl the wrong way.
Right.
All right, I got 3 of them my own. But that crap happens. So, and now I had one of my best friends whose daughter, her first cousin was living with her,
Right.
and her cousin's friend had spent the night, and then that morning that guy actually did some improper behavior to the little girl, and it devastated my friend. And here's the problem: crap does happen, but here's also the problem: people do lie.
They do.
Okay, and it happens, and in politics, it's got to be 10 times worse. Forget the real world. So I have a problem where now, society now has become that when these accusations come out, it honestly feels like the burden is to defend yourself and prove you're innocent, and that you're automatically starting out guilty.
Which it should not be. You're absolutely right. In the legal system, you're innocent until proven
Google
guilty.
Duke lacrosse team and see what comes up. This is
Oh,
10 years
God.
later. But no, Google it. See what comes up. Those guys, that was a complete lie. Their lives are ruined. And if you Google it now, go watch.
I'm
what
doing it
comes
right
up.
now.
Yeah.
Ruined.
So ruined. So the fact of the matter is, I don't care if it's only 5% of the time. If we know for a fact there are false accusations and there are false lies, you need to deem that man innocent until without a doubt you can prove him innocent, guilty. So without a doubt you can prove him guilty. And the problem is these women now, in this Me Too movement and these things, have gotten this country so worked up that these people are guilty. They're guilty right off the bat. And they have to defend themselves, and even if they prove themselves innocent, they're screwed half the time.
Yeah, still
For
nobody
life.
believes you.
So, for those out there who felt like that he's guilty, I did some research. I've been doing a little reading, and I want to go over some of the things. So first off, for a woman who claims that she didn't come out for any political reasons at all, I just find it interesting that there's 2 or 3 GoFundMe pages out there that she has now over $1 million.
Well, to pay for the legal team.
God.
That's what they're saying.
I'm just saying.
Even though they're working pro bono, apparently.
Yeah, so this legal team who's claimed to work pro bono. So that's not. Let's just take the politics out of this. Let's just look at this as a real case. That doesn't look like it's a problem. You have a legal team who's taking on a case pro bono, publicly, is stated publicly. So that's a fact. Everybody knows that.
Correct.
And yet there's $1 million, not $100 or $50 or $25,000. There's $1 million. Does anyone feel in this room that there should be a GoFundMe page that's worth $1 million for this woman who doesn't have legal fees technically? Okay,
Technically.
$1 million. So for me, that's a problem. Okay.
That's a million reasons to have a problem.
Well, true. Okay.
And a bitch ain't one.
This woman who's had a very traumatic experience that's plagued her whole life, accordingly, doesn't know or remember how she got to the party. And no one has come forward in the country. This has been all over TV. No one's come forward to admit taking her to the party.
Well, and the other thing that we don't know, because they did extend it a week, is did any of these people in the FBI questioning this week, did any of them come forward? Because that guy Mike Judge, I believe his name was, or Mark Judge, or whatever his name
I know
was,
what you're talking about.
he said that, he actually said off the record to reporters that if the FBI approaches him, he does want to speak to the FBI. He wouldn't say what it was about. He did say that he would speak privately to them, but under the auspices that he would not, none of it would be released publicly. So whatever the FBI finds, it's going to go to the Senate. They're going to have that information.
Correct.
They will get to decide. And that was really, you can't tell How do you know? One of them is lying, obviously. It's very obvious that one of them has to be lying because one thing is the truth, and maybe there's versions of the truth. And it's the fact that it was so politicized that the Democrats did hold on to it, because I believe that is true, that they held on to this for a period of time purposely so that they could delay the vote. The fact that they gave it an extra week before it goes in front of the
You're
whole
arguing
Senate.
my way now.
Well, I'm just listen. I just think it's fine to do the due process of having the FBI ask these people the questions.
Yeah,
I
of
don't know
course.
what proof you can find. I'm 35, so it was before I was
This was
born.
a high school party, for Pete's sake. I'm pretty sure that in high school, I probably did something that qualifies as being wrong to girls.
I'll second that.
A whole lot.
And that's the scary thing. It could come back and haunt you.
Now, I don't think anything I did, I really believe this, traumatized any girl.
Or
Agreed.
broke the law.
Okay?
Or
It might have
broke
broken the law. It depends how you want to define the law nowadays. But
I don't want to be
nothing,
called to testify. For
nothing I did, I promise you, traumatized a girl in any way. Okay? But did I spank one on the butt? Did I? What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And there's no instance I can even recall. But if I had to bet good money, I'm pretty sure I was guilty of a few of those things, without a doubt. Especially high school.
But
during
have you
playing
ever
football.
found yourself in a? Here's my thing. I'm not an angel. I did a lot of things wrong in my life, but I've never found myself in a situation where that would even, in my mind, where something like this would even be questionable whether or not it was. Like if it's a little risque, like you're saying, like
This
pat
is
somebody
how
on the
I
butt.
feel this guy felt if he was even did anything or if she was there.
Right. So if something did happen, it wasn't as
It was
extreme.
probably in the sense of what, like, I didn't.
I see what you're saying.
That's my point.
Okay.
Okay, this is high school. First of all, she's underage drinking at a party.
Which we
in
all
high
did,
school.
and he did. And the good thing about him is he came out and said it. He's like, I drank. Everybody else was drinking.
Sure.
We all drank together.
Listen, Clinton admitted smoking weed. I mean,
No, he never inhaled.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he said.
Because anybody in the country believe they hold that for $1. So, but I just want to state some facts about
Okay.
this, especially the people who feel he's guilty. Okay, I don't know about you, and I can only imagine because I haven't been a victim of this, but I have had some traumatic experience in my life that aren't at this level. But any traumatic experience I've had, dude, I can tell you what clothes I was wearing, where I was, and what happened. Okay? Because it's traumatic. It's called trauma because you remember it for decades, for life sometimes.
Oh, it's the 9/11 argument. Everybody here probably can tell you exactly where they were.
I
what
know.
was going
I can
on.
tell you what I was wearing. I was wearing red shorts, red mesh shorts, and a white T-shirt. And I wasn't working, but I went into my one shop that I had at the time in Tequesta and was doing paperwork on my day off before my employee was going to come in and work the shop. Wow. And I got a call. I got a call from a customer who said, "Oh, you won't believe this! A plane just ran into one of the Twin Towers." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." I hung up and went back to work because in my mind I'm thinking this guy in a two-seater doesn't know how to fly.
Exactly.
Hit the building.
That was my
Right,
first
it was an
thought.
They're
Yeah.
making jokes on the radio about it.
I had no idea what he was talking about. And then he called me later after the second plane hit. And I said, "Whoa." So then I went outside, started putting on the news, and needless to say, it was my day off, and I spent all day there with customers watching
But-
what transpired that day. So I can remember everything about it. As most people can tell you, I remember where I was. I was in a bathroom stall listening to my Walkman, okay, that wasn't allowed in school, but it was recess time, so I went to the bathroom. I had my little Walkman I got in Christmas or whatever. I was listening to it when I heard the Space Shuttle Challenger explode.
Huh.
And I ran out and told teachers, and they stopped the school, and everybody brought out the TVs, and we watched it. So I remember the traumatic incidents.
What were you wearing that day?
Honestly, that I
I
can't
know.
tell you.
So that's what
But
that's what the argument
wait,
is.
Wait, but that's a little further back. I was in 4th or 5th
Okay,
grade.
so how many years ago is that?
5th grade. How old are you in 5th grade?
80. That was 89.
10, 11?
Yeah, so I mean it's 36 years ago.
All right, so that's exactly when this
But
event
I
occurred.
remember where I was when it happened. I remember what happened. I can't remember the.
Do you remember how you got to school that day? Did your mom drop you
Yeah,
off?
no. Well, we took a bus every day, so it wasn't hard to remember.
Do you remember how you got
I don't-
home? When you got home, what you had to eat? Like certain details like that, you forget.
No, dude.
I don't remember.
Listen,
Abe,
she
I was
doesn't
in
remember.
Manhattan of
She
the
doesn't
day.
remember when the party was or where the party was. Okay, I know where I was. Okay, she doesn't remember where it was. I know where I was. For every one of those instances. Maybe I can't tell you what clothes I was wearing, but I can tell you I was in the bathroom stall, and I can tell you which bathroom it was. It was by the 8th grade commons area in the corner, and I was in the middle stall.
So now go back to your high school parties
That's pretty
That's
damn
pretty
good
when you were
memory right
drinking.
there.
Do you remember every high school party?
But-
where you were, what house, whose house?
But that wasn't a traumatic
No,
experience.
I don't. But I tell you what. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
I do remember when I was 15 years old.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't drive. Right. I had a job at Marshall's, the department store.
I know what that is.
Shoe department. Worst job you could ever freaking had. Women's shoes.
Oh, so you
okay?
were playing Al Bundy for a
In
while
Marshall.
there.
I faked my birth certificate so I could start work there early because I was 15 years old. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. I was working at Marshall's, and I took this 19-year-old Greek girl named Maggie Papiros to a party. It was a party at someone's basement. We were drinking fruit soaked in vodka, and I made out with her that night for the first time. She was 19, I was 15, bro. And yeah, I remember that. And that wasn't traumatic.
That was one of the best days of your life.
One of the best nights of my life. And then, the next day, she realized I was 15, and there was like all the remorse. So,
And
Don't run
15-year-old
for office. You might think of it
Yeah.
differently.
Oh my God!
15-year-old
I,
age was doing jump
in fact, I
jacks.
should find out if she's
I
famous
was
or
just
popular now. I can press charges.
I want to find her online now and bring her on the show.
Maggie Papiros. Okay, we went up dating for like 6 or 7, 8, 9 months after that. She got over my 15-year-old real quick. But yeah, we ended up
Allegedly, this happened, by the way. So
Yeah,
there's no proof of this
Yeah,
either.
this is
Well,
allegedly.
listen, what was funny is that she was like old school Greek, so we literally had to hide everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like everywhere we'd go, oh my God, that's George from our church. We gotta go hide down the aisle. Oh yeah. It was
And then you probably were like, "Let's go to a diner." No, we can't go there. My
Exactly.
family owns
No,
that.
It was really insane. But no, I remember these things vividly because they were monumental incidents in my life. This was the first time I made out with a young lady. Well, she was old lady compared to me, but
Hey,
I made
hey.
out with a woman.
Outkicked your coverage.
Yeah, and listen, we were in the bushes. We had gone for a walk. We were by some bushes outside on the block. So, and that was a happy time. It wasn't even a traumatic time. So I question that. Okay.
All right.
Let me see
That's
what
fair.
else I got. She testified that her and her husband went to a therapist in 2012 while remodeling their home, and they were arguing installing a second front door, which she stated under oath that she wanted as an escape route. Okay? Now, if you did a little fact checking, a check shows the Palo Alto building permit codes show the second floor door was installed in 2008, not 12, and that the record states the second door was added as a separate entrance for a rental unit they were developing in the home. Okay? You could look that up.
I'm okay with that. All right,
Okay.
so that's one thing.
So here she is. She's claiming that 4 years after she installed a door, that she was so traumatized. But really, it was for a rental home. They needed to place another doorway. That happened 4 years prior that she stated.
Or maybe that's what they said on the permit, so they could do it.
Okay, listen.
I don't know.
It's what's
I'm just
it's
playing
what's
devil's
done.
advocate.
I got a whole list. Okay,
I know you do.
all right.
You have a hell of a list here.
Yeah,
Well, listen. Look,
he did his homework.
I listen. I have a problem. I have a problem when we start persecuting people because people are coming out, whether it's real or not real, or it's for a hidden agenda, which it may or may not be, and people's lives are getting ruined forever. Forever.
Or
And
in the exact same way, this is a job for the Supreme Court. And the last time I checked, it says on the statue in front of most of the courthouses in the entire country, innocent until proven guilty.
but it's not in this type of a crime. That's not the case, and that's
Yes.
my problem with this type of a crime.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not the case. She called her friends on her cell phone when she got home. Now this is my favorite. Okay, I'm sure you've all heard it, whether you follow it or not. That she
Cell phone.
Cell phone didn't come out till like
84.
Yeah.
Was it Zach Mars' phone?
2 years after this incident happened. Now
Yeah,
how?
it was probably the suitcase with the yeah.
But no, the first cell phones came out 2 years after this incident. So, do you really believe that you're going to say I went home and I remember calling people on my cell phone right away? And
Why are you looking at me, Adam?
Well,
Well,
because
because
he's asking
you're
you a
one of the
question.
people
And I'm
who
waiting to
feel
get
that
back
he's
from your
guilty.
response.
I actually did not see that line of the questioning, and yes, that does seem suspect.
If you look at it, I got 2 pages of it. I won't kill you.
I mean, the
but
better thing is
if
that
you look over these facts, there's no way you can believe beyond a reasonable doubt that this guy's guilty of this.
But let the
FBI's
professionals
involved.
decide.
No,
that.
I am going to
The
let the professionals
FBI's
decide.
involved.
But the problem is he's already been judged in society.
That is the problem.
That's
Because
my
if he is
problem.
innocent, it is the worst tragedy for his family. It has ruined the
And,
name
and,
completely.
and if anybody in this room believes that either political party, I'm not saying the Republicans are not capable of something like this, but if anybody in this room doesn't believe that either political party could definitely want to pull something like this off, get this to be done for political reasons, and not worry whether they do a travesty on somebody's life, then you're deluding yourselves, and that's the problem. We're so ready to believe what the media wants to feed us all the time, and the story, and it's become. I feel like it's the witch hunts, like the Salem witch hunts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's become very, very bad, and it's for me totally plausible that this is such a democratic movement because they've already publicly have stated they'll do anything to not lose control of the Supreme Court and keep this from happening. They've said this publicly. I mean, I've got it written here somewhere. I got so many.
I mean, there were the protests even before this came out about everybody that was protesting Kavanaugh's appointment to the Supreme Court as for everything else. And everybody was up in roars because they all thought he's going to take over Roe versus Wade because that's what he believes. But wait, last time I checked, there's more than one person on the Supreme Court.
Look, anybody who really believes that Roe versus Wade will ever be overruled, I just think you're drinking some Kool-Aid.
Absolutely.
I don't care who you put in there. That's not getting overturned. But they use that. The Democrats use that as a tool, as something to work people up. I don't care who gets elected in the Supreme Court. There's no part of my body that believes that Roe versus Wade will ever be overturned. It's just not happening.
You don't know that for a fact.
It's not happening.
You don't know that for a fact.
This
there
country,
are plenty of
this
evangelicals
country
that
will
want
have
that
a
to happen.
revolution before that happens. And I'm going to tell you something, all right? I'd be one of the guys up there in the revolution. Because most of the right, okay, the religious part of the old right, the Republican system, it's passé. I don't care if gays get married. Never do. In fact, I'm a firm believer that they have the right to be as miserable as the rest of us married people. Okay?
Agreed.
They shouldn't be exempt from that. Okay? So it doesn't faze me. I don't care. I believe that a woman has a choice. Okay? And I believe because that's a choice that they have to live with. Me personally, I thank God every day that as a teenager I never was put in a position where that was a decision.
I said
would
that
have to
exact
make.
same thing the other day.
Because I don't believe in doing that. Now, whether or not have I been put in a position where I've made that choice, I don't know, but I'm glad I never had to do it.
Exactly.
Because I believe that a decision like that, me personally, I'm speaking strictly for myself, would have haunted me till today.
But I also think that
Especially now having 4 kids.
That's what I'm saying.
And thinking about the one that my personality, that would haunt me till today. But I believe you have the right to make that choice.
I think a part of the concern, though, is that it would suddenly become illegal nationally or something. But that they would make it so that, well, in this county you can't have it.
Would revolt.
I know. But what I'm saying is that they could do it where, like, all right, well, you have to drive 60 miles and it isn't covered by insurance and it isn't this and isn't that. So basically, it's the same thing as being illegal, even though it's not illegal. I think that's more what they're afraid of.
Right, making it as difficult as possible.
That they overturned it, yeah.
Put a camera on every person.
Huh?
To play
They put a
devil's
camera
advocate.
on every person.
Yeah.
Every car.
Okay, but to go back to why we started on this,
Right.
The Democrats have stated that they would go to any length not to lose the seat on the Supreme Court because this confirmation would change the Supreme Court for the next generation. So right there, that tells me these guys are willing. They've publicly stated they're willing to go to any length. So when I look at the facts, if you take the emotion out of the equation, because look, I look at a guy like Harvey Weinstein, and let me tell you something. I've done none of the research on Harvey Weinstein like I did here, and I'm probably guilty and I'm wrong. But I look at him and say, "Oh yeah, that guy probably did that." I mean, it's my movie. That guy probably did that.
He didn't really put up much of a fight either.
No, he didn't. And I mean, look, but
Ultimately, I think that, like, again, you can't. Based on what the media tells you, you can't make decisions about people. You have to actually find out the information. That's why we have courts of law. That's why we have all these things.
But this is the problem. Everybody, listen. Look, I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody. All I do 90% of the time on Facebook now is snooze and hide and snooze and hide. And I don't want to see posts from this person or this person anymore. Because, and even on the people who share my beliefs. Because I'll see a post that supports a belief I have, right? But it's so absurd I don't believe it. Like, no way. Like, perfect example, the Colin Kaepernick thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was a post, right? Wait, Michael Jordan resigns from the board of Nike and is taking his Air Man or Jordan, whatever, brand on his own, resigned from the board. I said, no way. And I'm a hardcore Jordan fan. I'm from Chicago. No way. One of my friends shared this, so he's out there believing it, propagating it, sharing it. I Googled it. It's not true.
I call shenanigans.
It's not true, but that's the problem.
Yeah, he's no dummy.
80% of the population is reading this. I saw it on Facebook. It's fact.
And that's a problem because so
What do you
much
mean
of
it's
our
not
news-
true? It was on Facebook.
So much of
You
our
know?
news comes from that.
I mean,
It's absurd.
Yeah, I mean that's the one thing about traditional media is that if you had a magazine or something, you had to have a printing press and money. And it kind of was enough of a hurdle to get out the nut jobs. Where now you could be in your basement, wearing your grandma's wedding dress and rubbing yourself with peanut butter.
Wait.
and have a following. Everyone's listening to you. And
That is KMA
Wait,
uncut.
and not only that, but make some real looking shit.
Yeah.
Look like a real story.
Everybody has Photoshop.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Yeah.
Word. And, everybody can make stuff look
So that's
legit.
kind of
It'd be
bad
a
thing
thing
about-
that says the New York Times,
Yeah.
And it'll look just like the New York Times paper, and then it'll be some absurd story.
Yeah, so whatever you say about print, at least print, you had to have enough, screws in there to get to a point where where you had the money, you had a printing press, you had distribution. That took you, a fairly competent human being. Whereas you just have to have a website in Photoshop, and you can make, Jesus Christ appear on the moon or whatever.
while naked, covered in peanut butter.
Yeah, exactly,
absolutely.
yeah.
And wearing a wedding dress.
Yeah.
We gotta bring a call back to that one.
So no, but this is a legitimate thing. So I got the image of a guy in his basement naked in peanut butter,
With a yoga mask.
right?
Oh, God.
But I think I talked about this on the show one week. One of the NFL coaches, I think it was the Kansas City Chiefs, they had publicly said that he had written a letter saying that if you don't want to kneel, like stay in the locker room.
If you want to kneel, stay in the locker
Yeah, if you want to kneel, stay in the locker
Yeah.
room. And this was being shared. Thank you, sweetheart. And this was being shared all over Facebook or whatever. And look, I've been open about my stance. Okay, I believe if you're an employee, you're on the NFL, you're coming out for a football game, and if the NFL and the coaches say, "Hey, we want you to stand," then you should stand. That's been my opinion. Okay, it's a job. You work for a job. You're representing another company, another team, another thing. And if they say, "Hey, you need to stand for the national anthem," you need to stand. Doesn't stop you from making your protest public in any other form that you want. So that's always been my stance. So when I read this article, I'm like, "Oh, well, cool." Didn't believe it though, right? So I Googled it, and there were stories that were confirming this. Still didn't believe it until I found a video of him talking and absolutely denying it. And then I posted it on that thread. I said, "Look, man, you got to take a minute.
At least do a little bit of Google
Yeah,
search.
take a minute.
Google, how easy is that?
You
You have to go to the library, get out the card catalog.
I'm not gonna lie. I had to go to page 2 to find that video.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay,
Jeez,
because
must have been sweating.
I had to go to page 2, but there were stories confirming this statement. But I didn't want to take nothing that was written. I kept going until I found a video where it's a video of him talking about it and completely denying it and saying that's not true. And I posted on that thread. So, and this is the problem. So this poor guy, when I look at him, I don't know if he's guilty or not, because I'm not all-knowing and omniscient. But I tell you what, I know I act that way. But
You could have fooled me.
yeah, I know I act that way. But when I'm seriously, when I look at the facts, if I take out who he is, Supreme Court, and I look at some of the gaps and the things that she's done, I tell you what, I see nothing that I've heard or seen that makes me feel beyond a reasonable doubt that this guy is guilty of anything, other than maybe just being a teenager at a high school party where people were drinking
And having a couple of beers.
and having a couple of beers.
And working out with Tobin and Sydney and Donkey Dick Duck.
He had some weird names
Yeah.
in there. And then there was that dispute over boofing, which I did look up on Urban Dictionary.
I know what that means.
Do you actually know what it means?
No, I don't.
Well, so, to me, boff would mean having sex with a girl. Like
What is
B-O-F, B-O-F-F is something that you would say,
I
if
boffed
you-
a girl.
Yeah, I boffed a girl.
Okay.
Boof, I looked it up in the Urban Dictionary, and it says, and it means bust out old fart. So it actually does mean flatulence, like he said. So when he wrote boofed all night, he meant
In
that
the
they
yearbook.
were farting all night. Yeah.
In the yearbook.
Which come on, man. I wrote stuff like that too.
Yeah, exactly. You
But
want to be up for a Supreme Court
now you're
position
arguing the
because you wrote that in
ridiculousness
your
of the
yearbook?
case.
Right.
Yes.
You're arguing my point.
I can argue both sides, but my argument
but
was
tell me why you feel. Okay, so look, let's just take this back. We've been talking about this for 20 or 30 minutes. So far, I've seen you do nothing but
Yeah.
argue my point on some of the absurdities
you've done a
of this
bad
case,
job of
but yet you feel he's guilty. So share with me where this feeling comes from.
I think.
Tell me where you think
Listen,
beyond a reasonable
I
doubt. this man is
I
guilty.
don't think beyond a reasonable doubt, and it's purely conjecture. But I would defer to the professionals that do this for a living. If they can find a reason beyond a reasonable doubt that he is guilty,
Listen,
Yeah, but no,
I'm
he said-
sorry.
he said that-
yeah. I'm
If
not
they
asking
can't,
you,
he's not guilty.
I'm not asking you to defer to the judgment of the court. I'm asking you what your personal opinion is based on everything you've read, seen, or heard.
dodging.
something happened, okay? And
Why do you feel that something happened?
because there's something.
nothing
I'll
I've
tell
read.
you why you think that. You saw her testify, and you thought, well, she's telling the truth. That's what
I
you-
really
that's what you did.
thought that. How could you put her life in this situation?
Because she's making $1 million.
Abe,
I'd say Ronald McDonald licked my butthole for $1 million. Are you kidding me?
you wouldn't ruin your life and your family's life
What
for $1 million.
Why is
It
her
wouldn't help
life
it.
ruined? Why is her life ruined? Listen to me. Was Anita Hill's life ruined?
No, it was.
Why would
She actually made a lot of money.
Anita Hill became famous.
Yeah, but I mean, in fairness, I mean, they do get a lot of. I mean, people are threatening her life. They've called her house. I mean,
Right.
Dude,
I
I run a cigar shop and my life gets threatened. Okay?
Well,
Big deal.
That's not because you own a cigar shop.
No, I get pissed off customers who
Yeah.
threaten my life while running out of my store. Okay? So that's not a big deal. But you tell me what you think she sacrificed by having to come forward now. What is she
What do you mean,
sacrificing?
as opposed to coming out
Look,
sooner?
yeah. So you're thinking that?
Well, she did come out sooner. She sent a private letter. She didn't.
And how did that
apparently
letter
she
get
didn't
leaked
want-
out?
Listen, I don't know.
Only 3 people had it. Her lawyer.
Well, let the FBI decide that.
Okay, but listen to me. I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is, you can't tell me as a rational thinking person that anything you've read can give you the feeling.
It's not
that this
about what I
guy's-
read. It's what I saw, and I
What
genuinely.
did you see? Because I watched the same
When
shit.
I watched it, I genuinely felt. Listen, I feel bad for him. I do feel bad for him because one, and maybe this is the non-political thing to say. I don't think if he did it, I don't think what he did was right. I don't think it's definitely not as bad as an actual rape. I don't think it's justified or correct. But I also don't think he's a rapist.
For me, it's
if he
the
did
thing
do
that
it.
you can. I mean, I just put myself. Let's just say for a second he didn't do it. Do you
Right.
want people to be able to have their lives ruined without any evidence? That's
No,
the thing.
you're right.
That's
You're
what scares
right.
me. You know, and if let's say judge comes out and says, "I was there. I saw this happen. It's exactly how she said it happened." I would say at that point, okay, well, he can't be Supreme Court judge. I mean, that would be collaborative. But nobody remembers being there. Nobody remembers anything about this.
Which
There's
they
no-
said in non-official statements. I know they're saying under perjury.
But no, let's
with
maybe,
lawyer
maybe
statements.
maybe under oath he'll say something different.
Exactly. That's my only-
But if he doesn't do that, it's terrifying to me that
could happen.
This could happen. You could live. I mean, again, everyone. If you walk before this happened, people that were on the other side of the aisle that had gone to college with him vouched for him. He had all the Yale vouched for him. Everybody vouched for him. Everyone's
bar.
like, "This guy's great. Everything's great." And then this comes out without any evidence, which he takes her story to the Washington Post.
And
which I
none
don't
of her
like.
friends are confirming
I
vouching
know.
her story.
I'm not saying again. None of us were there, so I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit her. What I'm saying is that, and again, if my sister came to me and said that this happened, I'd completely believe her. But if you're looking at this, not knowing either one and not having any evidence, how can you put this guy through this? And then again, I mean, also the hypocrisy. Senator Blumenthal from Connecticut, whose state is a disaster. I mean,
Right.
people are going
Disaster.
they're going to Boston for better taxes. God help you. And again,
Oy vey.
the guy's like saying, "Oh well, if you lie about one thing, you lie about others." Yeah, you lied about being in Vietnam. The guy's going around saying,
Right.
"Oh yeah, when we were in Vietnam."
Right.
And this guy's out there sitting in there like he's. And again, Ted Kennedy. These all sat with Ted Kennedy, who drove off a bridge with a girl and drowned her drunk. And then
I called her.
Listen.
I called about it later.
Yeah, and then he had like his license suspended, and they sat with this guy for 30 years, and then
Listen.
they're like, "Oh, I can't believe we."
Listen.
It's like, come on, like the Fox outrage is what bothers me.
If you're in politics, okay, by nature you're a liar. Anybody, look, I love Ronnie, okay, but yeah, I know Ollie took the hit for him, okay. I mean, you know, if you're in politics, you cannot be anyone who's in politics who wants to put themselves on a pedestal of ethics and morality.
You got to step
and
on a few heads.
Bullshit. I call bullshit. You can't be in politics without lying. That's what they do. They lie to themselves.
Right.
Even. You know, they're such good at being liars. They believe their own rhetoric that they say. They've convinced themselves to believe their own
And
rhetoric.
how
Or to
disgusting and
quote, or to
scary.
quote Seinfeld, as George Costanza once said to Jerry, Jerry, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah, it's truth. So yeah, I mean, I got an issue with this. So looking at this as an outside, but see here, can I just?
Please.
I just want to vet something.
It's your show.
And I don't know the answer, but I'm going to go.
It is his show.
I'm going to go on a tangent, and I'm a limb. Okay. I'm going to assume. I'm going to make an assumption that you'd prefer to see Kavanaugh not become the next Supreme Court justice. It's a yes or no question.
No.
The answer's no.
No.
And there you have it.
Why?
Wait.
Wait.
I'm
Here's
saying
what
I
happened.
would not. No. You're saying you're.
You
All
would
things
prefer he
equal.
not, or you would?
What
I'm just saying
innocent
you're
until
not.
proven guilty.
You prefer that he not be nominated to the Supreme Court.
No, I do not feel that way.
Oh, you?
Oh, okay, all right.
So you'd be all right if he got
I
nominated.
feel right because I believe the man got there on his merits. He did things that I have never done. He.
So you're not concerned with his political views of becoming a Supreme Court justice?
Listen, the only argument
little
about
honest.
his political side.
Be a little honest here.
Hold on. The only argument about his political views was how argumentative he was. But, and that's what all the liberals are coming out and saying. But
You
to
mean
his
argument?
defense,
You mean argument about this?
right? But to
Let me
his,
tell you something.
But
If
I'm
I
saying
was
to his
unjustly
defense, I would
accused,
be too.
I'd be burning houses down.
Yeah. Right.
I'd be burning. Listen, I love my wife. God love her. She's my chi. Okay, she's my balance. Okay, all right. I believe everything is wrong and everything is evil. And she
Right.
believes everything is good and everything's okay. Okay, so somewhere in between we balance out. Okay, but when I tell her crap about, I don't want no 8-year-old girl sleeping over my house. She's like, "Oh, what happens when your son wants his 8-year-old friend?" I said, "I don't want his 8-year-old friend sleeping in my house."
Even
because,
worse.
because yeah, exactly. Nothing's going to stop him from going to tell him and telling, "Oh, Mister." Let me give you an example. The other day, right? I got a neighbor 2 doors down, okay, who's a police cop. Comes knocking on our door, and let me just let you know something. I've lived in my community 5 years, and I've talked to one neighbor because I just don't like to talk to people. Okay?
Do you wave at least, like give him the fake?
I don't
wave?
even do the wave.
Oh wow.
Okay, because we live like my community
What a
is like.
dick.
No, I'm not a dick. I don't believe in the bullshit wave. I don't know who you are waving at me, walking your dog.
It's your neighbor.
Get the
Hey,
fuck
how
outta
you
here.
doing?
No, they're not my neighbor. They live in my community. I don't know them. Okay. All right. All day long. My life, honestly, is in the public eye. I deal with public. I deal with people. I deal with patrons, my customers, my friends. I go home. I don't want to deal with nobody. Right?
Take your pants off.
And my neighbors go to my wife, "Why is your husband such an asshole?" They say that all the time to her. Because my wife is so pleasant. Anybody who knows my wife, they'll tell you she's wonderful.
Immediately.
It's not that. I just don't want to get in that jargon with you.
First thing you start saying hi, then you have to carry your body.
I just don't want to get in that jargon. I want to go home and just have some peace.
Well, and in your situation, they'll be like, "Hey, Abe, you got any of those cigars you can bring to the
Not even
barbecue?"
that.
You want to donate to this charity I've got going on this week? It's going to be a great idea.
I just don't
Why don't we
do
move?
it. I just don't do it. And the problem is my wife's got so popular in the neighborhood that they know me as, "Oh, that's Brandy's husband." But they don't know nothing about me, So, I just avoid people. But my neighbor 2 doors down is a county sheriff, okay, and came knocking on our door and told my wife, "Look, I just want to share with you, our daughter knocked on your door, and I guess your husband yelled at her, and she came home crying."
Oh no.
Okay?
Oh boy.
I wasn't even in the room. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what happened. And my wife was taken aback by this because my wife said to herself, "Could my husband have yelled at a little kid?" Maybe.
Yeah, that could happen.
So she wasn't quite sure to defend me or not, but
Had he just got off the phone with Adam?
she was
Adam there?
She pretty much
it may have
knows.
been.
She pretty much knows I probably wouldn't have done something like that because I wouldn't want to have to deal with talking to her parents.
Right.
Okay, so what actually ended up happening is we had company at my house. One of my friends was there with his 3-year-old boy, who's best friends with my 3-year-old boy, and the kids are making noise, banging, and my friend shouts out, "Hey, who's banging? Stop that!" Whatever. And he's thinking that's one of our kids in the house banging, when it's the little girl on the other side of the door, and she runs home crying home to daddy.
Oh, so it wasn't you.
I wasn't even in the room.
Huh.
Right? So he pieces all together afterwards. Right? But meanwhile, this guy who's a cop is thinking, "This dude's yelling at my little girl." Right? So this is how crap happens. Okay? Sometimes. So when I tell my wife, I don't want little kids over. Because even if I'm innocent, That kid goes home, I looked at him the wrong way. I looked at him sideways. The kid thought I was flirting with him or whatever. Yeah, man. It's a world.
Did you talk to this neighbor or no?
Listen, my wife talked to him, figured it
Okay.
all out, went and explained to him the situation, and it just so happens, like this weekend or the weekend before, both our kids were outside playing at the same time. He walked over to me.
Ah.
I had to have a conversation with him.
So now you got a friend.
No, I
He
don't.
can come over
I don't
anytime.
I do not have
Best
friends.
friend.
I do not have friends.
You're not gonna
that live in
barbecue
my
for him.
neighborhood.
Adam, you're out. He's got.
I am not that neighbor. I am not that neighbor. I'm just not.
You don't
not.
do like
No one
barbecues
has, no one
or
has
go
ever
to.
said you're going to be Mr. Brady.
I'm just not. I'm just not that neighbor.
You guys
know?
have an HOA. Do you go to like the parties that they hold?
Never. 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 Listen. When I first moved to Florida and discovered what an HOA
Oh, Brandy's
was.
watching now, by the way.
Good. When I first moved to Florida and discovered what an HOA was, right?
Yeah.
I actually ran and I was vice president of our HOA. Yeah, I quit 9 months later. I said, y'all people are insane.
I can see that.
I got up in the middle of a board meeting and said, y'all nuts. I'm not wasting any more time with you people. I don't give a crap what happens. I'm going home. Left in the middle of the meeting.
Include me out.
Yeah. See, they're nuts. They're nuts. Okay? Yeah, but that's how this stuff happens. So when my wife, who's so nice and pure and believes in everything nice and good in the world, and I'm always on the other side of the coin, it's a good balance. But we have these arguments because she can't comprehend the possibility of something like that happening. Where for me, it's like, oh yeah, it's possible.
Because to her, people are genuinely good. To you, everybody's suspect until they've proven otherwise.
Yes,
I can see that.
that's the way I
in her.
function.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean. Listen, now I'm talking about my personal universe. You know, in my home.
To use an example, the deer in the woods that go, well, there's a person. He might be a hunter, but then he might be just a nice nature lover. Those deer are all dead.
They're dead.
Those deer are gone.
They're dead.
The deer's gone. There's a human. Let's get the hell out of here.
Now, some of them might have been nature lovers.
Yeah, some of them
might have been nature lovers.
But some of them weren't, and those ones are dead.
I got a feeling most deer are colorblind, so they're probably not seeing the orange vest to begin with.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the deer that said, "Let's
That's
get out of
actually
here."
a great analogy.
Yeah, they're
It is a
alive.
good analogy.
Well done, Terence. Terence has got the liners for you all night tonight here on KMA Talk Radio
I'm
Live and
trying
Uncut.
to contribute.
All right, so
could've
look,
warmed
I want to take a little break here. It's not going to be long. We got to hit John, bathroom, maybe get a bite to eat, mix a new drink.
Yeah.
We're only going to take about a minute break here.
Yep.
And then we'll come back and we're going to talk about a little bit about Cosby, and I'm going to talk about this Manchester University stuff where clapping is not allowed. So
No clapping.
Don't
All
go anywhere.
We're all suspended for Manchester
Yes.
United.
Oh, wait till you see what their solution to the clapping was. I'm going to make you all do it at the end of the show.
boy.
Oh yeah, we'll
yeah.
have a great time
Oh, yeah.
with it. This is KMA Live Uncut. Make sure you stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to KMA Live, uncut, broadcasting live here in Pompano Beach, Florida. I am Adam Gay, the Brewmeister. Welcome back to the Facebook Live only edition of KMA Live, uncut, late night. With me, as always, Mr. Honest Abe himself.
Oh, that was a good break. I got a little food in my belly. I've been
There you go.
switching down whiskey and vodka, so
Yeah.
it was
It
good.
happens.
Yeah,
It's
you
all
balance
right.
it out.
Yes. I
Yes.
need to-
And
there's, the funnest thing about drinking while sitting down is actually standing up. That's where I got the barometer of how much I've ingested during the course of the last hour, is when I stood up during the break.
We actually made the switch, Adam, Terence, and I, to one of our. Actually, we can talk about them because they're
You know
going to
what?
come on the show
Can I get a
soon.
little more of that Clyde Mays?
And our friends at Barrel of Monks Brewery
Yes.
in Boca Raton, we're drinking the Father Christmas from last
I
year,
like
right?
that Father Christmas.
We have a little bit
It's
more,
delicious.
I think.
Yes.
oh yes, this is from last year, so this has been barrel aging in my vintage collection for over a year
Oh,
now.
that's such a unique tasting
And
beer.
you know what the crazy thing
I
is?
love
Like,
it.
it's
can't-
totally mellowed down a little bit too.
I can't pinpoint.
Yeah.
Definitely tell that it's mellowed.
You know what the problem? Sometimes with stouts and things, it's like they're so sweet, you feel like you have diabetes
Listen.
when you after
Right,
you drink
yeah.
it.
right.
Like, this is like perfect.
Yeah.
It's not a sweet stout. It's
Yeah.
not a bitter
not
stout.
bi- yeah, it's just not
It's
perfect.
got a unique taste, and I can't pin it what it's reminding me of. But man, that is a unique
So
tasting beer.
Kevin, I believe, is watching right now, and Kevin, I saw that you called me today, but I was on my way here. So he wants to come on the show. They have some big things going on at the brewery, so we're gonna have him on.
You're the producer.
I'm gonna have him on. We're gonna have him on. We love
Kevin's
him.
one of my favorite people.
Thank you.
He
Oh,
also,
boy.
him and his wife just had a baby boy as
She's
well.
pouring strong, this girl.
Mazel tov, Kevin.
Oh,
All
boy.
right. Those guys. All right.
Wait, I want to see Abe. I gotta get a close up on Abe doing a shot.
I'm not going to shoot this. Did you not hear the man? This
Oh,
is
I
sipping
didn't know what you were
whiskey.
drinking. I thought maybe you were
This
having a
is
Jameson.
sipping booze.
Oh, well, I want to see you sip.
Yeah, sip.
Sip
Clyde
one long
Mays.
sip.
KMA Live Uncut, brought to you in part by Clyde Mays. Alabama-style whiskey. The finest whiskeys you can find. Made in the tradition of bootlegging back in the day. Thank you, Clyde Mays,
So
for all
listen.
your support of KMA Live Uncut.
I know we got 12 people in here, and I know some of you are here for the first time.
13.
All right, 13.
No one's counting.
Thanks, Teach.
I'm counting.
So I know we got a live audience here. I know some of you were here last week, some of you weren't. And look, we need to get an honest opinion because this whole late night uncut is an experimental thing for us. We're trying to, delve into a different area of discussion, which we think is viable, more current affair stuff mixed in with a little cigar. Because look, let's face it, what I like to emulate in life is a cigar lifestyle. So I spent many, many, many hours of my life sitting and listening and talking and listening to what's going on. And look, let's face it, we talk about what's going on in current affairs. It's either women, sports, food, or politics, what's going on in current affairs.
You know what we haven't even touched on amazing enough is gambling, and now legalized gambling is out there.
You mean in Florida?
Well,
No,
legalized
it's
sports
sport.
gambling.
Legalized sports,
sports
gambling.
gambling.
Sports gambling is now legalized
But it's legal across the country.
across the country.
Certain states or across the country?
No, it's
Nick's all up on medical marijuana. We got medical marijuana fans out
All
here.
right, Nick. All right.
I actually look. I got a problem with gambling. I got a problem with state lotteries.
Aren't you a gambler?
I like to gamble.
All right.
But
Go ahead.
I like
Poker and sports
hold on.
gambling is completely different.
Let
That's
me-
what we call a paradox.
Let me.
Cards.
That's what we call paradox.
He's
But let me clarify. I like competitive gambling. So I don't bet red or bet black. I don't. I'm a poker player. I will play blackjack. I like to play some things that
You have a roll in.
I have a role in. That it requires some
Yeah.
especially poker. I'm a big poker guy.
Right,
'Cause I
so there's some skill involved.
Not skill. I believe poker is
Percentages.
100%. If you play no limit hold'em, it's 100% psychological warfare, and that's what it comes down to. And I always try. I always try to teach people. I got poker buddies. I try to teach people. I said, you want to get good at poker? Go play games and play a game without ever looking at your cards, because that'll make you a good poker player. And who's laughing? It will, and you know it. Because good poker players don't play their cards.
You play the people.
You play the people and what's going on. So you can fake looking at your cards,
Okay.
but play your hand. Go play a $5 game, something, but experiment. Play your hand without ever looking at the cards. Learn position betting. Learn how to read the situations. That will make you a great poker player. So that's the kind of gambling I like. Somebody once told me never bet on anything that could talk. Okay. So that's kind of. But I've seen gambling for me is I've seen it because for me personally it's ruined a lot of family members' lives and friends' lives. Gambling for me is equivalent to crack or cocaine. It's a very bad thing that ruins people's
You
lives.
want to
and
see
they-
some sad people go to the dog track.
Listen to me. Listen.
Serious.
Listen, the dog tracks will usually have the dreads of society.
Oh yeah,
The dreads.
Yeah, it's the bottom feeders.
But gambling
And hopefully
ruins
there are many fans of them.
people's lives.
Hopefully many of them are fans of KMA Talk Radio.
I've seen people lose their homes. Most of the people who play the state lotteries are people who can't afford to play the state lotteries.
And they have subscriptions.
It
usually.
strategically harps on the people who financially shouldn't be playing the lottery, and I have issues with that. And when the state legalizes something like that, I think it's a hypocrisy. I think it's baloney. So I don't have a problem with gambling. I have a problem with the state's fake control of gambling, when at the end of the day, I'm telling you, it's just as bad as crack cocaine and drugs and heroin, because I've seen people lose homes, ruin families, many people, over gambling. So it's a very, very bad type of addiction, you know? And
I've loaned money to a lot of gamblers over
It's
the
all for
years.
gambling addiction,
I-
just like
stupidly.
That's a bad loan.
It is always a bad loan.
Not a good loan.
I've never gotten a dime of it back.
I have friends. Listen, the nice thing about it
gift.
is, the nice,
Yeah, exactly.
the nice thing about it is, unlike your local corner drug peddler, okay, the casinos will respect you. I have friends who will go to a casino and say, "Ban me from your casino," and they will take a photo of you, and you will not be allowed in the casino anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, the Hard Rock does it. The other one, the Seminole, does it. You can go there and say, "Look, I want to not be allowed in here anymore," and they will take your picture, and you will not be allowed in the casino anymore. You know, your local corner.
Can you
drug-
take it back?
No, no.
You're done.
Once you do it, it's for life.
You're on the blacklist, and that's what you
Did
get.
you read the article? You read the article. Not fair. Not stop it. Stop it. Not fair.
He's ruining the surprise
Yeah,
for later.
You're ruining the story.
Don't ruin the story.
Okay, we got
Don't-
somebody
don't-
in there who's read the Manchester University
Yeah.
story. Don't do it.
He's reading it now.
Yeah, don't do it. But yeah, gambling is bad. So yeah, I think the government's role in lottery and gambling and not gambling and the Indian it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. So
Oh, I got a tingle. I was like, no, stop. Oh, wait, we can.
well, because I said
Yeah. I still
No,
can't get out.
I know a guy that did security at Foxwoods in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And it is really like he'd go out in the parking lot looking around, and there'd be some kid sitting in a car, like 6 years old, that'd been sitting there for like 6
Oh,
hours.
no. His dad left him in the car?
Yeah, or the parents went and gambled. They left them in the car, or the father, or the mother, or whoever. You know, so it is really the worst addiction. It's a photo finish for like heroin and gambling.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
You know what's a problem with the commercials say at the very end? Gambling problem? Call 1-800 admit it. So wait, you're already giving me the number I should call if I have a
Listen,
problem? How am I going to know if I have a problem?
I'm telling you, gambling is the underrated, really poison of society. And
Yeah.
it's
I'm telling you, the dog track.
It's under the radar because it doesn't have the bad connotation of drugs or drug dealers. It's got Vegas and fun and gay. It's lethal.
And what happens here stays here.
So-
but no, sometimes it gets out.
Oh,
Listen.
it gets out.
Listen, I'm going to tell you a story. I grew up in my family's grocery store, and we
You
sold.
didn't live there. You just worked there.
Yeah, I worked with my father's
Yeah.
grocery store.
Thank you for clarifying that.
I-
Paul.
I
I
was
was
just-
completely confused.
Listen,
I grew up working.
Terence
in a
was like,
grocery
wait a
store?
second.
Listen.
I didn't understand.
I grew up.
Thank you.
I grew up literally working with my father on the grocery store in weekends, like since the age of 3. By 8 years old, I was running the register. Okay, and eventually after college, I was his partner for a few years and ran the family business until I moved to Florida.
Then you ran away. Exactly.
Then I ran away. Yeah, working with my dad wasn't easy. So, but I'll tell you a story. When we first got lottery, okay, I'm telling you what I experienced. And I said once I left that business, my fingers would never, ever, 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 ever touch a lottery machine again. I had customers who listen, we had a family grocery store in a niche neighborhood that had been there probably 30 years before my family bought it, and my family had it for another 30 years. Okay? So people who had house accounts, monthly tabs they paid that with
Yeah.
my father, their kids had house accounts with me. Okay? So, I mean...
Who the hell has a house account at a grocery store?
Well, you go back that far back, that's the way a lot of them were.
That's how you beat
And-
the big boys.
You know, yeah, literally. So we had monthly
This
house
guy
accounts.
gets 3 gallons of milk a week.
Yeah,
Cash it in.
They come, they buy their grocery, they charge it, at the end of the month they come clear out the tab, okay? And there are customers who saw me grow up. I went to their kids' graduation parties, they'd bring, when we'd open up during the holidays at Christmas till 2 o'clock, or they'd bring us lunch and
Oh,
food.
that's
It was
cool.
a very neighborhood-oriented store. I knew literally 90% of everybody who walked through the door by the first name. Knew their kids, knew
Yeah.
everything. And they knew me, my brother, and everything, you know. So, when we first installed this blue machine, the state lottery machine, and oh my God, the scratch-offs all day long, okay? I began to despise, when I say despise these people who I'd loved for years because the worst side of them came out, okay? These are people who really couldn't. I say we're because most people can't.
Right.
They would be at our door before we would open.
Waiting to get in.
Waiting because they were up all night with their little
Not promising.
with their luck with their luck books and whatever, and they would have a list of 200 numbers. Okay, which if you understand anything about the lottery, the daily game, which is the worst, you know, if you hit, you win $2,000 if you hit on a straight, $2,500, whatever it is. It's not a lot of money, but they would have these 200 numbers, 50-cent box, 50-cent straight, front pair, back pair, every variation of it. And they would spin up all night, and they'd come, they'd play this. And I would, this was my little comment to them. If you had put this much effort at school, you could have been a doctor and a lawyer.
Just put that money in the, in the
You could
stock
have been
market.
a doctor and a lawyer. Are you kidding me? You were up all night doing this?
Yeah.
And then what does the state do? They fuck them, right? Now they go to 2-a-day drawings. So now when they lose at noon, they play the same stack for 7 o'clock at night, right? And then the guys with the scratch-offs, they'd come. I'd have people who would sit there for 3-4 hours scratching. And you're trying to do work.
Yeah.
You know, nobody who sells lottery makes money selling lottery.
No.
I mean, you'd have to have like a crap load of sales to make any kind
You
of
hope they
money.
buy a Coke or something.
Yeah, you hope they buy a Coke, or somebody who hits a jackpot where they think they pay you 2% of the big jackpot. The seller of the ticket gets it. That's the only way you make kind of real money.
And they do that, right?
Yeah, they give you 2%.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the only way you make any real money, unless you're one of these crazy lottery stores, like which is typically in an underprivileged area, you know, where basically it's lined out the door and the people are just playing lottery all day.
Right.
It doesn't really pay. So I'd be frustrated because I'm trying to do real work all day, and these people are, yeah, I got a free ticket. I got a free ticket. I got a free ticket. And we sit there all fucking. I got so disgusted with it. I'm not lying to you. We had a cashier, okay? It was like the last cashier, which she was like the cashier and the lottery girl, okay? Because like, nobody would come to that register unless it got real busy. So most of the time she would do the lottery. When she would go to lunch, I ended up and drove my dad nuts. But I put a sign up, lottery down, open 2 o'clock. Oh yeah, because I just got so despised of it. It sickened me watching this all day. I couldn't do it, and I swore, because we've been approached in cigar shops. Oh, you should put a lottery? Hell no!
Everybody
Yeah.
wants a quick draw, right?
Hell no.
You need that like a hold
Okay,
head.
but see, that's the difference. See,
What is that? Yeah, that's.
I'm going to
bringing
tell you,
the
but
rock
see,
piece.
here's the difference. See, the upper and the upper middle class and the upper class people, their typical play is give me $5 quick pick.
Okay.
Okay? Because here's $5 if I win the $20 million lottery.
Great, yeah.
Great. But that's not what the lower income and the
Right.
people can. They play the 50-cent, dollar, 3-day, 3-number, 4-number
Yeah, I
picks.
didn't even know that any of these.
Wait, that it's not changing their lives ever if they
Yeah,
win.
for me, it's like if the Powerball is like 40 million, it's like it's not worth $3. 40 million, what am I going to do with that?
But that's what
it's
happens.
got to be like 200 million.
Right, exactly.
It's like, all right, 200 million. I'll
Right,
play.
in my office, when they say that the Powerball is up to like 450 million, I'm like, all right, I'll give you $2.
Yeah,
It's
40
$3,
million. What am I
whatever.
going to do with
But-
$40 million?
Right.
That's not where they make their money. It totally preys on the people who can't afford to play it.
Right.
They come in and play those pick 3, pick 4. I won $500 because I got my 3-pick box.
Well, and
You know?
I'll give you an example because my family never played the lotto, but once in a while my father would play, and he'd let us pick it as kids. You know, it was like 2 or
Yeah.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, sport.
And
sport.
So we won once. So when I was a little kid, we hit 4 out of 5 numbers. You know how much money we made? $1,700. 4 out of 5 numbers in the New York State Lotto. I mean, listen, $1,700 is a big deal.
It was a big jackpot. That's probably why too, because normally 4 numbers doesn't even pay that
Right,
much.
exactly. It was,
was
a
a big
huge
jackpot,
jackpot.
that's
It was a
why.
huge jackpot. But when I was a kid, I was like, oh my God, we're Dad, quit your job. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's move to Florida. And,
No, you should have just said, Dad, I need a new bike now, please. New bike. $1,700 bike.
And
But
look,
Dad's like, this doesn't even pay for one
even
day
the
at
people
a
that
resort.
win like $100 million, they're broke in 5 years.
Oh,
I love
that's a
those
whole other
shows.
fact I could
Those
do. I
TV
could-
shows?
No, wait, that's a whole other fact I could show you. Like 80% of the people
Yeah,
in
they're
the
all
lottery are broke within the first 5 years.
Yeah, $100 million bucks. They're
Because,
broke.
because
America.
these are people who grew up. Stop it. These are people who grew up who don't know how to handle money. So
And
you've given
$100
them-
million
you-
is a hard amount of money to spend.
But it's not hard.
No, it's
my man.
not.
Hold
See,
on.
you-
Every cousin.
Well,
and
they all
aunt
want money.
and
Everyone
relative
comes out of the woodwork.
and hillbilly.
If I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't tell a soul.
Yeah,
Dude,
exactly.
soul. Yeah, everyone,
Dude, you know what?
You don't
I'm gonna
deserve
tell you
that.
something.
I got a surgery. I got this. I got that. I got student loans.
I'm not lying.
I met you once on a bus. No.
I'm not lying. But if I ever won the lottery, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. If I ever won the lottery, like it was like a real amount that I could never really have to work again.
Yeah.
Shit again. You know, to win a couple $1 million ain't gonna do nothing for me. I got
Right, it's got to be like
I got 4 little kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't cut it. But if I ever won a real amount of money, I'm telling you the truth. I would line everything up, and then before I left town, I'd go to every one of my stores and unlock the doors, and I would text all my employees, "You guys got first dibs. Bye." And I would leave. I would leave.
That's
man.
bullshit. You would
No,
never.
I would so be gone.
No.
Why? Well, like here.
You
I
have
pay
too
off
much
all my
pride.
leases to the
You have too much
landlord.
pride.
No, I got pride too. What pride?
I
Let them-
see you as
let
being the
them
guy
have
that
first
makes
dibs.
$200
Can you
million.
text me too? Can you text me? Can I get?
Yeah,
me
Terrence.
text?
Terrence, you could get in.
Yeah, I
there.
want to get on the text.
My employees get first dibs.
Listen, I see.
Listen,
Dude, that place will be
listen,
gone in 5
listen.
minutes.
Hold on, wait.
There'll be tumbleweeds
Listen,
rolling down the aisles.
listen, I may take that back. I may just go to certain ones. Goes, here's the key. Enjoy. Bye.
Yeah,
The
I'm
ones that
gone.
you like.
Yeah, the ones
luckily,
I
I
like.
already
If
got
you
all
told
the
me
keys.
5 minutes after everyone else, that place would be empty.
You wouldn't get one.
I already got
He already has the keys.
There'd be no
It doesn't-
toilet paper in the bathroom.
Yeah, exactly.
All
You're right. They take
But
they
listen,
take everything.
I'd only give the right people the combination to the safe.
I thought there were 2 people in the world that had a combination to the safe.
There are.
Yeah, him and Brandy.
No.
No, I thought it was.
Are you kidding me? I wouldn't give
Randy
my wife
doesn't
the
have it.
combination to my safe.
I thought it was Adam. Wasn't Adam one of
Well,
them?
good
Yes.
Lord, I hope not.
No, listen to me.
I
it
think
was,
it is.
And then we were going to change it, but we found out it cost way too much money to change it, so he still knows the combination.
I knew it was. I knew Adam was one of
But
them.
he doesn't-
5 tries to get through.
But he doesn't have a key to the office to get to the safe.
All right, good, all right, thank you.
So we
Now I
had
can
to-
sleep at night.
I have a
we
lock
had to-
picking set, Adam. I could get you in there.
So
All right,
listen,
whatever.
moving on here.
All right.
Do we want to talk about Cosby?
It's up to you. It's your show, Abe.
I think it's
I'm
pretty.
just serious. Whatever you want
Listen
to
to
talk
me.
about.
I think it's very relevant.
Which part? The
Do you
women
want-
coming out
do
of
you
the
No, I'm
woodworks
just letting you
or
know.
Do you
Bill
want to
Cosby?
go home?
I don't. I'm just
Do you
letting you know
want-
what time
I
it
got
is.
a couple more points.
We
Why
probably
not?
have
Adam,
Adam,
Adam, plenty of time.
Adam, let's not take a turn to negative town here.
Adam wants to go home.
I'm just
Stay here
letting you know.
positive.
This is where we are, and we have times when we're
Terrence,
looking
this-
at.
Terrence is just getting
He's
on
having a good
fire
time.
now.
Finally,
Get finally
Adam,
get another whiskey. Get this man another whiskey.
We got him some beer. He's good to go.
Get this man another whiskey.
Wait,
All
do we have more of that beer, Adam, or are we
yeah.
done with it?
We polish it off.
Oh, all right.
There's some trillium that I'm not
Yeah.
going to share
So,
with you.
Paul, what's your take on Cosby? I like Paul because he's like the antithesis
Thank
of
you, man.
myself.
Have
What do you
another.
mean? I'm not the
You're
antithesis.
so the antithesis, whatever it was.
What do I think about Cosby?
Whatever.
Whatever
I
you
think
bring
it's
is fine,
it's so hard for me to wrap my head around the whole thing.
Isn't it?
No, honestly, I'll tell you
Isn't
this.
it really?
It's
Go ahead,
it's,
Terrence.
it's sad for me because
Right?
you know Bill Cosby was somebody he would. I grew up in Western Mass.
Okay, let me ask you one question before you get into the sad. Because I agree, it's sad as shit.
Yeah.
Do you think he's guilty?
Again, I wasn't there.
Do you think he's guilty?
I have no idea. I wasn't there.
You have no feeling on it.
I was not there. I don't know.
Do you feel he's guilty?
Listen. I'm a huge fan of his. I loved his stand-up. I loved the show when it was on, and it kills me to say this, but I have to believe the courts. I have to have faith in the system we
people in
created.
jail
ask
that are
something. Time
are
out.
innocent.
I'm going to call you an idiot right now on radio because I'm asking you your opinion and your response
It's
constantly.
very weak.
I gotta believe the
Yeah.
court.
Come on.
I'm not asking you to believe the courts.
Take a
Court-
stand.
I got news for you.
Yeah.
The courts many times have convicted somebody to life and have been wrong.
Yes, I think
and
he's
DNA.
guilty. Yes.
So I'm not asking you what.
Yes,
the
I
courts-
think he's guilty.
There you go. Thank you for growing a set of balls for us.
I think he's guilty,
So-
and it kills me
so,
to say
like,
that.
he-
Don't
he-
wait.
so-
I
wait,
want
go
you
ahead.
to poll out there. Once again, we got 12.
Hands up in the air.
13
We
people.
won't show you on
Yeah,
camera.
you, nobody knows. Who thinks Bill Cosby's guilty? Okay, so
That's way more
That's
than
the
Kavanaugh.
majority.
it's the majority of the room.
Well,
Yeah.
again, I mean,
and I kind of think he's guilty.
listen, I
ahead,
wasn't there,
Terrence.
and I don't. So I don't know. I don't know.
But go ahead. Talk about what you were going to say.
But no, I think it's like, so I grew up in Western Massachusetts, and he went to UMass Amherst. I went to UMass Amherst, and he for Springfield, which is a very poor community, he would like sponsor the valedictorian every year, and he would pay for wherever they get accepted to school. He would pay for it. He would take them in like a plane and everything. I felt like he did a lot of good
Can
things.
I clarify something?
Again, listen,
He's gonna answer.
No. Let me finish. Now, if he did this, or whoever does something like this, yeah, then they deserve to be in jail. Of course, they deserve to be in jail. Absolutely. But I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. And if he did it, then it's obviously a horrible thing.
Horrific,
But if
right?
but even if he did do it, it makes me sad because I felt he did so many good things that he obviously just screwed up his life by doing these awful things.
I'm going to lose a lot of female fans here right now.
Well,
we don't have a lot of them.
You want to make a point before that?
Go ahead, make one.
All right. So here's what we're going to say. I'm going to say,
I'll drink to Adam, make it
did
a
he
point.
not at any point just get to the point of where I'm Bill fucking Cosby? Did he have a Keith Hernandez moment? Did he get to the point of I'm just Bill fucking Cosby? I can just do whatever I want.
Hernandez is like killing people. I mean,
No, Keith Hernandez wasn't killing people.
Keith Hernandez. I'm
Keith
sorry. I thought
Hernandez.
you said
That was a Seinfeld quote from the Seinfeld episode where he's like, "I'm Keith Hernandez."
I thought
That's
you
the
said, I thought you were talking about Aaron
situation.
Hernandez. A Patriots fan.
No. Wrong Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Wrong Hernandez.
Sorry.
I think a lot of people, once they get to that level of fame and power or sports or Hollywood,
Yeah.
they develop those kind of complexes because they just think that, this is expected. It's me. How
No.
could you
Not to mention, you have agents, managers who are kissing your ass every time you turn around, and who just are there to get you whatever you want.
Right.
And if you come up with some crazy thing like, "I want a Bengal tiger tomorrow," guess what? The manager's job is to make you happy because he wants to keep getting paid from you, so he's going to try and get you a freaking Bengal tiger.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, which I'm probably going to lose some women on this point, but it's true.
Go ahead.
I don't care what anybody says.
Go ahead, but what you're going to say, I already have an argument to because I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Oh, do you know
Thanks,
what I'm...
Paul. Yeah,
Stop.
thanks,
Stop.
Collaborate
What am I
and
gonna
listen.
say?
This is our guest.
What am I going to say, Paul?
You're going to say that he was in a position of power.
No, I'm not. Shut up. You're wrong already.
All right, go ahead.
So what I'm going to say is this, and here's the truth, okay? Because he mentioned a lot of good that Cosby did, and I believe that Cosby did a tremendous amount of good in
Absolutely.
the world.
Temple University would back
I
that
don't
up.
think that justifies if he
No,
did
it
these
doesn't-
things.
no,
you're right, you're right,
Like,
you're right.
I'm sad that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
Go on.
I believe he did a lot of good in the world. I believe his intentions were to do a lot of good in the world. I believe that the development of young minds and youths and his TV shows and everything was all a positive thing. But here's the bottom line, okay? I believe that he suffers mentally what every male is DNA coded to suffer. Yes, okay? Because I have this conversation with my wife and argue all the time. We're wired that way. Okay?
What way is that?
Yeah,
We're
You're losing me.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Hold on.
We're wired to look at women and to think. Listen, I don't know the facts, but I've read it a million times. Like where we think of sex like every 3 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we're wired that way. We think that way. The difference is there's a population of us that have grown with the control and the discipline to understand and quell that behavior, while some of the male population has not. Okay, look, I'm going to give you an example. I don't judge a man, and I'm 46 years old, so I've been exposed to a lot of male friends in my
Right.
life. I don't judge a man poorly, and I said this in front of my wife, so anybody who thinks I'm talking out of my ass, this is what I believe. I don't judge a man poorly who's not faithful to his wife. Okay? Because I believe as men, we're all programmed that way. We want to screw every living thing that walks by. In fact, I've had this argument. Any relationship that we have with a woman, ultimately, if we're friends on any level or associate with her, is because in the back of our minds, on some level, we want to screw her.
in the back of your mind.
At some level, we want to screw her. Even though we know it may never happen, and it's never going to happen, I will still associate with you because on some level, that's what I want in the back of my head.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes. So, but I don't have respect for a man who flaunts cheating on his wife. Okay? If I was, and I know my wife's watching the show. So I
Yeah,
have
she's
balls
on.
to say this.
We're
If I was
waiting for her to
ever-
comment.
If I was ever going to cheat on my wife, I promise you,
Nobody would ever know, right?
Except that one person.
Right.
And 9 out of 10 times, I'm pretty sure it'll probably be in another continent, just to be safe.
So if you go to Thailand anytime soon, we know what. Okay.
I'm just saying, okay?
No, honey, it's for a cigar trip.
It's nothing. Listen to me. It's nothing as a man I would ever flaunt about or flaunt in front of my wife. But I get this all the time. I get guys who I know their wives, and I know they're married, and they want to bring their little side girlfriend and introduce me to her. I don't want to know her, dude. I know your wife.
Don't put me in that situation.
I sit down and I have dinner with your wife. Don't
Right.
do that to me. That's the type of man I have no respect for. So if you're the type of man that succumbs to, hey, listen, I need to have sex with something other than my wife, I can kind of relate to that. And I can kind of understand that. But that should be done under the radar where
there's a
nobody in the
difference.
world knows. But here's what I'm saying. Because I believe this is how we're programmed as men. Real men. Okay? Now, if you're a borderline guy...
What are you saying to Paul?
It's a different thing.
He's a cat person. That's the problem.
I'm not a cat. I don't own a cat.
But listen, real men, I believe that's how we're wired primally. Back to the days of where we were mostly
But I mean, I think that...
and it still exists.
We
okay?
agree with you, I think.
It still
I think
exists.
I actually agree with you. I don't want to speak for Terence.
So here's my point of Cosby.
Okay.
I look at Cosby, I don't want to take away anything good that he's done. Because for me, what he didn't make him a bad person. He's just weak.
Terence, make the obvious argument here because he doesn't know the facts. He doesn't know the facts. This doesn't apply to Cosby.
Yeah,
because Cosby drugged.
Yeah. I mean, if Cosby's guilty of drugging women, that's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing at all.
It's not the same thing.
And it's not Abe.
can't-
It's
you
not
can't-
like getting a girl drunk and like hoping that she gets loose enough for you guys to do something. He put like Quaaludes and like roofies and things like
You
that.
can't do that stuff.
No, that's
Can't do
wrong.
it. Can't do it.
And yes, you can take away the good things that he did if
didn't
he was
even know
that
that,
kind of
sorry.
man. I'm sorry.
No, yeah. I mean, if
have
he's,
proof
I
that
say
he
if
did that?
if
Yeah.
They have
well,
physical
I don't.
proof?
Yeah, I don't know. If
Well,
that,
it was proven in a court of law. He's in jail.
well,
That he's drugged
again,
women.
if he
That's
did
what-
do
that's-
it,
yeah.
if he was
admitted
correctly
it.
convicted, then he deserves to be in prison.
Oh, no, wait.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's a
I
different
never
story.
said he doesn't deserve to be in prison.
But I mean, there's a difference. But I mean,
I never said.
I'm not
Wait, let him
justifying
speak.
either one here. But
I think
you have a guy that's going around, running around on his wife. That might be wrong, but it's not a crime.
Right.
A guy that's going around drugging girls, and they pass out, and he sleeps with them passed out. He's
And
a
then they wake
scumbag.
up halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now again, if he did it, he's a scumbag. Right. I mean, that's not the same thing. Those are two different things.
Okay, so
Let's not group people together here. Let's keep the guy that's cheating on his wife away from the
Give him
guy
some-
that's drugging women.
give him some dignity.
Yeah,
so listen,
yeah.
so my argument wasn't well as thought out as the Kavanaugh argument, but that's my feeling on the case. Okay?
No, you and I have. I really like. I mean, I've only been married less than a year, so I've never cheated on my wife. Does it come
Nor
across?
will you ever cheat on your wife.
And you know why?
And tell me about it.
I won't cheat on my wife. But
But,
and I'll tell you why. If I do cheat on my wife, I would immediately tell her right away because that.
Oh, so wrong.
I know I would.
So wrong.
It was a huge mistake, but I would.
So wrong.
I would totally.
Why?
No,
Because I would have to. I can't live with the guilt.
But that's a very selfish reason.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
You're
you're
not
right.
doing
It
your
is a
wife-
selfish reason.
You're really
yeah.
not doing your wife any favors.
No, and she'd break up with me immediately and take everything I have.
Hey,
Yeah.
well, whatever. I mean, but you're not doing her any
But I think the
favors.
thing is that you keep yourself, because I agree with you that there's, we're wired a certain way, but you keep
I
yourself out of
believe
the
that
situations.
men- yes.
Right, exactly.
So,
Listen to me.
So again, we're all capable of anything. You put anybody in a certain context and they'll do something.
Hold
so
on.
you keep out of those situations.
Yes.
And that's
Dude,
what saves you.
That's exactly what I've told my wife.
Abe,
I said,
Abe has said that to
Do
me.
you know what makes a man faithful to his wife? Is being smart enough not to put himself in a situation where he has to make a decision.
Yeah, exactly. That's you
bad-
stay,
That's
stay out
what
of-
makes a man
So-
faithful.
so, Terence-
because I've told my wife, I may not make the right decision.
Yeah.
So I will do everything in my power not to put myself in a position
Right,
Yeah,
you get the
yeah,
joke.
where
yeah.
I got to make that
Yeah,
call.
you stay.
no idea.
And again, it's for anybody, even women. The same thing. I mean, you put people in a certain. Anybody's capable of anything in the right position. So you
Exactly.
you stay out of those. You stay out of those. You make good decisions, and you stay out of those positions, and you're going to be better off probably.
And if
So-
you stay in,
Absolutely.
and you stay out of those positions, guess what? You don't end up like Brett Kavanaugh, hopefully.
Well, but
well, or somebody could just make something up. You know?
Exactly, but then again, hopefully the idea is you're still not going to be presented with that kind of a situation if you leave yourself out of those situations.
so listen, Abe and Adam were at my wedding.
I want to
And before
apologize.
got-
to
How come
everybody
I wasn't
else.
invited to your
Before
wedding?
you go on to your
sorry.
wedding, you didn't miss much. I want to just apologize to everyone on Facebook Live because I've been drinking too much. So if you have been texting anything or asking us to do anything, I haven't been able to keep up all night
We've been
long.
watching. AJ and I have been
Okay.
watching. And by the way, our good friend Evan Darnell from the Red Meat Lovers Club is watching right now. So hi, Evan. Thanks for listening and watching.
Meat lovers, baby.
Go
So-
meet lovers.
So listen,
Oh wait, I see JJ's fiance is watching. She probably hates my guts right now.
AJ.
Probably hates my guts about my
lovely Dawn.
My views on,
But
on
one day,
fidelity and marriage.
break a case.
Wait, you're close now,
and you
AJ.
get this. I'm 23 days.
23
Wow, he
years
knows the
married?
days.
Getting married. I love you,
So,
Don.
so AJ,
Holy cow.
AJ, are you freaking out yet, dude?
That was last month, but yeah.
Yeah, he was really freaked out.
Was
last
he
month.
really?
Oh,
I didn't know
God.
that.
He was a mess last month.
I was a closet mess.
I didn't even know. that.
It wasn't that much in the closet, man. It was kind of out there. You were a mess last
What
month.
are you feeling? Like, are you scared that like she won't accept you, or are you scared that like you're gonna screw up, or like what's your deal? People want to know.
No, everything's good. We have a mutual agreement. We're gonna get married 23 days from now, and it's gonna be a great time. I'm really excited, actually. I was nervous last month. I'm not gonna lie, but
Oh, you're
That's when all
totally
the bill-
screwing up.
That's when all the bills
No, I'm
were
just
due.
kidding. Dude.
That's when all the bills
All
were
right.
due. So.
So do you want to hit the Manchester University
Bill.
story?
Yeah, we got. Are you rushing me, dude?
No, I'm
Why
not.
do you feel like you're
I'm
rushing
trying
me?
to. I'm trying not to rush you.
You're
but
rushing
I,
me.
I know you had a whole timeline of things you wanted to hit and everything else.
Adam wants to get home before midnight.
Seriously, man.
I don't know. I'm
You
just
act
trying.
like you act like you have a
Adam,
life or anywhere to
I
go
don't.
right now.
Why do you want to ruin our great time?
I'm
Seriously.
not.
Whole
I'm
Foods
just
Is
trying to.
anybody in a hurry to get out of here? We're drinking.
All
We're
right.
having fun.
The Whole
we're having
Foods
fun.
bar closes at midnight. He's
Oh
gonna
yeah,
get
he's
there.
got to make it to Whole Foods.
I'm very disappointed.
I'm pretty sure they closed at 11 tonight, but that's just me. I haven't been in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's like most grocery stores, they close at 11.
So listen,
And the bar might close at 10 just for the sake of it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I know my man Nick has read this story already, but I have to read this.
Oh,
because,
go ahead.
Because really, this is the direction of our country, and not just our country, the world right now. Okay. True story. Clapping hands have been replaced. Now, I've never heard of this, but obviously Nick knows what it is because he did it to me. Have been replaced with jazz hands. Does everybody know what jazz hands are? Yes. They've been replaced with
Should I
jazz
demonstrate?
hands
Oh, Adam demonstrated.
at
I
a
did,
student union amid fears that the noise of applause could trigger anxiety amongst students. I'm not pulling legs, guys. This is a real.
He actually had to show me the story because I
This is
didn't
a
believe
real
it.
story.
I mean,
The
never
use
have
of-
I ever thought,
Am I on
applause,
camera?
I'm going to be, oh no,
Hold on.
people are clapping for me. I'm going to
Yeah.
be depressed.
Which camera am I on? Because if you don't know, listening what jazz hands are, I
I'll
didn't
do the
know
zoom
this.
in. I'm going to do the
Yeah,
zoom
I
in.
didn't know
The
this
close
until
up.
today, but it's basically this.
Yeah, there you go.
This
Oh,
is
you
what-
didn't know that?
This is what. No. What the? Why would I know what jazz hands are? Why would I ever use jazz hands?
Just like that. You
Let
gotta
me
do it
ask you,
sideways.
Do you
like-
know me? When could you ever see me doing this?
I thought you might be a cultured
Get
man.
the hell out of here. So yeah, this is
Did-
what
did-
they
did-
want you to do at events and things when you want to
In
clap.
Manchester University.
I can't even do it functionally, but yeah, they want you to do. You're actually pretty good at it. Let's see it. There he is, jazz hands.
I
So
had a golf clap in high school. I don't.
this is the truth, people. They want you to use jazz hands. Okay. By the way, just so you know, the jazz hands. I'm not putting anybody down, but it's a sign language expression for applause. So it's deemed a more inclusive gesture for the people who sign. At the student union's first meeting of the year, the Manchester's Liberation and Access Officer Sarah Khan argued that traditional applause was not sufficiently accessible to all students.
Wait, are you talking about the one student they possibly had that only had one hand?
But here's my question. Now let's take a look at this statement. Hold on. I want to read this again.
Yeah.
Okay, just to be sure,
Little
right? That traditional applause was not sufficiently accessible to all students. Now, is she saying that they can't hear the applause, so they should use the jazz hands? Because if I can't hear you, what's the difference if I do this or I do
What
this?
about blind people?
Now, if you're saying I'm physically incapacitated and I can't do this, why can I do this?
Or if I'm the person being applauded for, how is it that I'm so incapacitated that I can't understand people are clapping for me when I can simply just...
Think how creepy it would be if you came on stage somewhere and they were like, "Let's give him a hand," and everybody was doing this.
I gotta tell you, I would walk out right away.
Guys,
Yeah.
do it. Hey!
I'm out.
So-
That's it. I'm
I'm
out.
already creeped out.
Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, so they have now resolved to swap out audible clapping in favor of jazz hands to encourage student groups and societies to do the same. The union also makes plans, okay, to make BSL clapping part of inclusion training. Inclusion training to new students? What's BSL? Anybody know? I don't even know. What is it? It could be a sign
Like ASL?
Broken sign,
American
broken sign
What about
language.
DSL?
Broken sign language. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said PSL, Port St. Lucie.
No, BSL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say
Port St.
BSL,
Lucie, exactly.
BSL clapping
British
should be
Sign
used.
Language, because it's Manchester. British Sign Language. No?
No, I liked broken better. Broken
tried.
Broken was a better acronym.
So here's some other things going on.
I should have
Oxford,
researched this story.
Oxford University, okay, Oxford University, the Equality and Diversity Unit issued guidance to students, this is true, advising them that students who avoid making eye contact with peers could be guilty of racism. This is what they told their students, that if you don't make eye contact with everybody, that you could be deemed
Well, they
as
should
a
make
racist.
eye contact anyway. That's the problem with
What
today's
if you're a shy person?
No, today's youth doesn't know anything about interpersonal communication. They don't know how to look you in the eye and talk
But
to you.
that makes you
That's
a
why they
racist?
can't interview. It doesn't
That
make you
makes you a-
racist. It does not make you racist. That's ridiculous
Hold on.
nonsense.
Now, I'm not saying the University of Pahoke in Montana. Okay, this is Oxford University.
That's crazy.
Oxford,
Manchester.
no, this is Oxford now.
Oh, it was Oxford.
Yes,
said
I
this. Okay,
went on-
Oxford.
This is
said-
different.
okay,
He
yeah.
moved
I went
on.
on to another university.
Got it.
Stay with
got
us,
it.
Adam.
This is
Trying to stay with
Oxford.
it.
Did Adam get
now
another bourbon?
I already got one.
That is
Okay.
deemed that not making eye contact with your peers could make you racist. Okay?
You know,
Ridiculous.
This is 110% the participation trophy moving
Whoa.
forward on a next level.
Whoa, I'm not done. Hang on.
Okay, all right. I'll
Okay?
hold my point then.
The Scots, the Highlanders are no different. Okay?
Oh no.
The University of Glasgow started issuing trigger warnings, okay, for theology students. Now, these are people who have opted to make theology, the study of religion, their major, okay? Studying the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, where the students are told that they may see distressing images and are given the opportunity to leave class because the image of Christ on a cross might be too much for them to bear.
Because this is what you decided to study.
Say again?
Really?
Yeah. He said there's Braille on the drive-through ATM. I've actually commented about this on my Twitter
true.
page before.
I've seen
Who the hell needs the Braille on the ATM drive-through?
Because people can walk up to a drive-through.
No.
Why not?
Oh, I guess you could.
How does that tell you
ATM?
like what to do? I'd kind of like to see somebody use it.
Hey, you have to
It's
plug
all-
in. There's
Hold on.
an 1/8-inch cord
Listen
you
to
can
me.
plug in
Okay,
headset.
okay. All right.
Wait. I think it's kind of funny because I would like to know statistically how many blind people have ever used an ATM.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is they don't know
How-
if they have
how-
hundreds or one.
It's like how
Wait,
many
how
licks,
do you-
it's like
first
how many
off-
licks is in a Tootsie Roll pop.
Wait.
The world will never know.
Wait. First off, how do they know what the screen's saying back to them?
No, so it speaks. Once they initiate it, it speaks to
How do you know this?
How do you initiate it if you're blind?
There's an 1/8-inch plug. So
How
there's
do you find the plug?
So listen, let me tell
Is there
you.
a Braille part for that? I feel
There's
the plug.
a Braille.
It's just like
there's
how
a,
they also
there's
have
a
sex.
spot on the ATM
and then
with
how
Braille.
do you know it doesn't dish you out Monopoly money?
That's
Like
what I'm
that's
saying.
right,
You don't know if you have hundreds or ones.
I've never seen
You
a
could get
blind
you
person
could get the deed to Park
at an
Place.
ATM.
Listen, have you ever seen a blind person text? Because they do. Stevie Wonder has a phone that has it bumps up when he's texting. Like he can feel the bumps, and the Braille appears on the phone. Like it bumps up. So somehow it works.
Bumps
Listen,
up.
I'm happy they can
Yeah,
do
like
it.
Braille pops up.
I'm not against
What I
it.
would really like to know is what happens when a blind person reads in Braille "flee" at a random time. What happens next after that? I mean, what are your thoughts that go through your mind when you have that thought of, oh my God, flee? Wait, what? Where do I go now? Where am I supposed to go? I can't see anything. What's happening here? How do I get out of here?
Yeah. So
Is this what you think about at home?
No, this is what I think about when we're talking about these stories about blind people having to be jazz hands and
Jazz-
Braille at the ATM.
the jazz hands for college university students gets me. I can't understand college students being traumatized by applause
I mean,
or the fact that people who are either deaf or whatever have an issue with clapping, that jazz hands is the answer.
All you need is one. All you need is one.
Time
Terrence
out.
is right. You're right.
All you need is
Time
one.
out. Time out.
Oh boy.
How many people were irritated from the presidential alert today?
I didn't get it. I did not get it.
What are you talking about? I was in a meeting and 8 phones all went off at once.
Where are you?
And you can't opt out of that.
Wait, did
No, you
anybody
cannot.
not get it? Because I did not get it today, and I thought maybe it was a conspiracy.
Paul, it was just you in
No.
the country.
This is first world
It
problem.
was
Only
the
went to
majority.
Oh, my day was
Paul.
awful.
If
I
you-
got-
Yeah,
I
exactly.
support
Trump supporters.
Yes. So what happened?
No, I didn't vote for him, so I don't get the alert, so I have to die.
I didn't vote for him, and I got the alert.
There you
Oh,
go.
you did get the alert?
Who'd you vote
I
for?
got the
Hillary?
alert. This was
I don't
the
want to talk about this right
This,
now.
this was the first time since I was 18 years old that I didn't vote.
Ah, that's
Oh,
bad.
he didn't
You should
vote
have wrote
at all.
yourself in. You should have gotten your own name.
Time out.
I
One
couldn't
of our
vote for
friends-
Hillary, and look, let's face it, I couldn't really vote for Trump. Though, listen, I will say I have no issue with the results of him being in office and the stuff that's happened, though I wish he'd shut his mouth and not sound so retarded.
Twitter.
No,
Twitter
Trump
specifically,
is. Trump is
Twitter.
a combination of Jose Canseco and Nicky Santorum from Casino. That's what he is.
That's hilarious.
Mickey, calm down.
Dude,
That could be the best reference of the year.
that's what he is.
We need that audio bite. I want that audio
Paul,
bite.
mark
I'll
that
get-
down.
I'll
of
get Colin.
what Donald Trump did.
was Canseco kind of a scumbag? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Was he wrong? No.
Did they have PED laws at the time? No.
And then he went to like Nicky Santorum went to Vegas, which was a screwed up bad town, and he just blew him away. He just
That's funny.
That's what it was. That's what he is.
So listen to me. Like I said, look, guys, I think it has psychological mental issues. I think that if they locked him in a room and never let him tweet or interact in the public,
I'll tell you, when he first ran,
He'd be
I
better
thought it was
off.
ridiculous. I thought he was. I didn't vote for him in the primary. Since he's been president, I'm
to
not
me.
talking about the talking and all the
I
other
knew-
stuff.
I
I'm
knew
saying, like,
from
in
day
terms of
one-
like what he's
no.
done.
I knew from day one that his position on issues was point. It was spot on.
Yeah, we don't have to be friends. I don't know him.
I agree.
He's not my friend.
I believe in what he says. America should come first. We shouldn't make ourselves weak. I agree with all the perspective issues that he has. He just needs to shut the fuck up.
Listen,
You
I
don't
I
say
be
that
friends.
to the United Nations. You don't say that we don't believe in
Commander-in-Chief.
globalism. We believe
Why not?
in nationalism. Come
Why not?
on, we're part of the global
Every
society.
country believes in
Let me
nationalism
tell you
except
something.
us.
The globe has done nothing but leech on America
Yeah.
for the last.
You think that like any of these
multiple
other
decades.
countries like
Okay.
care?
Oh, yeah.
We've become the bailout system for the globe.
Oh, good. That's what China's for now. So
And
let
we
them
don't
deal
need,
with
and
it.
we shouldn't have that responsibility. So I don't agree. I don't disagree with a lot of his political positions. He just needs to shut the fuck up. If he'd shut the fuck up.
Back to the topic.
Look, here's my point. I said this before. I didn't vote for Trump because I couldn't bring myself to vote for Trump. I don't have an issue with
But you
the
didn't vote
result.
for anyone. You could have wrote your own name in.
It's
You could've
even
written-
worse.
Why?
It's even
Why-
worse that he
why
didn't bother
waste,
anyone.
Why waste my time to go stand in line to write my own name?
but
Get out of here.
Stand it. You weren't standing in line in Florida. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you do.
In your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Nobody's there.
They're at the HOA meeting.
I stood in line when I voted last election.
I've never stood in line
I
since
voted
I
for
moved
Romney.
to
Get
Florida.
out of here.
No,
Never
you
moved-
should vote.
never
You
stood
should
in
vote
line.
for somebody.
Listen,
Absolutely.
First time in 18 years I couldn't bring myself
It's a
to
sham
vote.
if you don't vote.
Okay, I didn't bring
Yeah.
myself to vote. 'Cause
I just want to vote for the
I
pizza
didn't
party.
believe in
That's
either
fine.
Listen, I didn't believe that either candidate realistically was worthy of being president. Okay?
Now-
Hillary had no business being there. She's the most corrupt, mental, psychotic, ruthless woman in this earth as far as I'm concerned. Shouldn't have been president. And Trump's a bozo. Okay? He's a clown. He shouldn't have been president. Now, he's not a dumb clown. He just got mental issues.
I agree.
But how do you vote that for your president? So I couldn't bring myself to vote for each.
He's not
Though
presidential.
I don't have. He's not presidential.
You could have voted for Paul.
Though I don't have an issue with what his results have been. But here's the sad part.
Thanks for
okay?
the money at the end of the check week.
No, but here's the sad part. This was my mentality.
For
and
you.
we're going to wind this up quick. But here was my mentality going in. Okay, for the first time in my life, because I was really too young to understand the impact of Ronald Reagan and the stuff he did and said when it happened. I didn't really appreciate that until I became later, older, and an adult, and see this. And obviously, I wasn't around to appreciate stuff that Kennedy did and how Kennedy moved the country. I think for someone to say, "Don't ask what your country can do for you," ask what you. It's got to be. It's got to
Don't
be.
ask what your country can do for you.
Yeah.
Ask what you can do for your country.
Thanks.
And now we're all that much
perfection.
dumber
Yeah.
for having listened to
but,
that.
but look, I just got goosebumps. I think that's one of the greatest lines ever. One of my favorite scenes in the movie, which was based on a true story, was Cinderella Man, where he refused to take
Welfare.
welfare.
Yeah.
And when he finally was forced to do it, he was so embarrassed by it that when he finally made money, he went back to the welfare line and paid it back. That's what America used to be. It's not what it is today. Okay? So for the first time I said to myself, this man, this guy who's a TV actor, businessman, has moved this country to the point where he actually may win, which is insane. Because if I told any of you 5-6 years ago Donald Trump was going to be president, you would have laughed your ass off.
Except for The Simpsons, they called it.
So, yeah, well, there's my point. It was
They
so
did.
insane. It was on The Simpsons. Okay?
Yeah.
So he moved this country. He took this country and he reached to the heart of the people and he touched something. And I said for a minute, I might experience a JFK in my lifetime. Something so absurd, so insane that he's going to move these people. And hopefully he'll do great things. And maybe he is doing good things, great things. But fuck, he's embarrassing himself doing it. You know? And it's become a joke. You know, and that's where I got hurt and I got kind of like, God damn it, man. You had the potential to become something historically, monumentally huge. You, against all odds, became president, dude, where they laughed at you. And you could have been great, but instead he's on there twittering, tweeting, Facebooking like a fucking 8-year-old idiot. Okay? So I'm a little peeved about that.
Gotta get my 2 cents in.
Because I could have witnessed something awesome in my life as far as politics. It would have been greatness. And instead, it'll be a constant fucking debauchery and argument about whether or not he was a good president or not. And it's just sad. It's really sad. All he had to do was shut the fuck up, lock himself in a closet, push his agenda, do what he thought was right, and shit would have fucking been 10 times better.
Listen, it'll all go away
He's making his
for all of
promises.
us.
I got news for you. He's going to win again.
He is.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you here right now, this guy will win again.
Who's
He
going to beat him?
pushed that alert
Pocahontas?
out.
He's going to get. Listen, I don't.
pushed the alert
Listen,
out today
I
after
don't
he
personally
won.
have a
He's
problem
a fan
for
of
it. Listen, I don't personally have a problem with him winning the next 4 years, other than the fact.
What would you
that
vote
I
for him
have
the
to-
next time around?
They have to listen.
Yeah,
to half,
exactly. That's a
they
very
have-
good question.
let me-
Answer
let me-
Terence's
Can
question.
I finish my sentence?
Sorry.
Other than the fact that I got at least half the country whine and bitch and cry for another 4 years. Okay.
Will you vote for him, though?
Answer that question.
Probably.
All right.
I doubt it.
No, this time around I will, because I've seen the results of what he's done. So take out the stupid comments and the Twitter and the absurdity.
I don't think he's a nice guy.
The end result is, I believe the country's in a better place.
Wait.
All this stuff they're accusing him of racial tensions and all this crap, this was all started by Obama, and people don't want to admit it. Obama started the racial tension in this country. He did. He accentuated it. Okay, so that.
Really, I don't know if I think that.
I definitely do.
No, I don't-
Because, no.
I think he was a nice guy. I just don't think he. I think he was a bad president. He was bad for our industry. He was
I don't think.
I don't think he was a bad guy.
I don't think he was a bad person. I don't. Well, listen to me. First off, let me clarify. I'm from Chicago, and if you come out of Chicago as a politician, you're a bad man. It's a fact.
They have a long list going.
Four of our last.
Mayor Daley?
Wait. 4 of our last 7 governors are incarcerated. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago.
So
It's the Chicago
you
way.
do not. Dennis is laughing. He's from Chicago. You do not come out of Chicago politics and tell me you're not corrupt and crooked as shit.
You don't have a little dirt under those fingernails.
You are.
A little dirt under the fingernails.
So there's nothing. I believe Obama not being crooked or dirty or whatever. But I don't think as president, especially when certain things where he could have alleviated racial tensions when they happened, I think as a president, instead of doing what he should have done, accentuated the situation. And I think that's led to a lot of where we're at today with people, because, I have a black wife, so I have to deal with this issue on a regular basis because my kids are half black and they go through some of this in school. you know. But what he's done for the country and the economy and the people, yeah, I'd probably vote for him again.
All right.
I mean, not again. I'd probably vote
I'm going to
this
hold
time
you to that.
and vote for him.
I'm going to hold you to
Hey,
that.
it could be.
Well, listen.
It could be
prior,
Pocahontas, or it
listen,
could be.
here's my stance on it, Paul. Prior to the election, a lot of it was talk, so I didn't know how much of it was real. Post the election, the facts are the facts. Are you going to tell me that employment's not at the all-time low? Obama wants to take credit for it. Oh, this is from what he did. Bullshit, dude.
The presidential
you had 8 years in office.
You think that something like employment happens within 6 months? That a change in the employment rate happens in 6 months?
The dude had
that's
8
years in the making.
Time out. The dude had 8 years and it didn't happen. So you tell me now it just
It's
happened?
years in the
Get
making.
out of here.
Nah.
Get the fuck
In Obama's defense, he was handed the post 9/11 economy.
Listen
And
to
I'm
me.
not standing up for Obama, but I'm just
listen,
throwing
Hold on,
that out
wait.
there.
Reagan was handed the
started
Carter. Reagan was handed the Carter economy. You're telling me that wasn't worse? The Carter economy was awful.
If you're on radio, you should hate Reagan because he eliminated the Blue Book
Everybody
laws that
says you
protected
should
all
hate
of the
Listen,
radio
this guy.
stations.
This is what I have to deal with on a regular basis. Are you going to tell me that the Carter economy? You might be too young to remember.
They had to raise interest
I am
rates.
too young to remember.
But the Carter economy wasn't one of the worst. Listen,
Terrible.
Don't get me
I was
wrong.
born in 83.
Jimmy Carter did one good thing good. He allowed home brewing.
Well, his brother, right? I thought-
Yeah. Well, he's
Yeah, but he legalized home brewing.
Uh,
Well, let me tell you something. Jimmy Carter is probably one of the most decent presidents
Good
we ever
guy.
had.
Yeah.
But
Made
that's
a
the
name
problem.
for himself
Wait,
after
but that's
his
the problem,
presidency.
because in my opinion, you can't really be a decent person and be president.
well, that's a sad
work.
situation.
I agree with you, but that's how it works, okay? That's why Jimmy Carter is probably happy as crap when Obama got elected, because now people mostly will now
They'll forget him.
Yeah, dude, he won't be remembered as probably the worst ever.
And Jimmy's got Habitat for Humanity.
Exactly. Obama's got a long way to create a Habitat Humanity
Right.
for
The stock
35
market
freaking
went
years.
up when he became president, when Trump became president, because they viewed it as optimistic towards business. That's exactly what happened. And then with the tax plan,
Uh-huh.
all that. Again, the president is kind of like a manager in baseball. He can only do so much to help, but he can screw it up a lot. And so he's done as much as he can to help. I mean, again, there's a lot of factors in this, but he certainly has done nothing but help the economy.
Terence Reilly, the analogy king tonight.
Yeah,
My man.
Everybody,
There you
jazz
go. My
handed
man.
up for him.
Jazz hands.
Jazz handed up for Terence Reilly,
Jazz
the
hands.
Well,
analogy
listen.
king this evening.
We're coming up on a little past 2 hours. Should we jazz hand it out? I mean, is this good?
I mean,
I think we're ready to
Are we
wrap it
good?
I
up.
feel like,
Hey,
I
listen,
mean,
I'm like Richard Gere, an officer and a gentleman. I got nowhere else to go.
Well, listen, let's throw out. I want to thank all of you who are willing to come down and put yourself through this show.
jazz
again.
handed up for yourselves.
clap.
Thank you very
There
much.
you go.
The University
Jazz
of
handed it up.
Manchester.
We hope you found the last
Clap
2
it
hours.
defiance.
We hope you found the last 2 hours entertaining and somewhat educational.
Yes.
A big hand to our KMA Kit and Paula.
Hello.
Lovely.
Hey,
Got
thank
the
you.
Libations going all night.
Libations
Isn't she
going.
lovely?
Isn't
A
she
big thank you to
lovely?
my man, the myth, the mountain, the great white gringo, Mr. Terence Reilly. Thank you. It's
Oh,
a
my pleasure. Thank you for
as
having me.
always,
It's always great. Thank you very much.
One of my honestly favorite guys in the industry. So thank you.
Abso-freaking-lutely
Thank
by
you.
It's a
far.
pleasure as
Thank you
always.
so much. Big hand to our man, Mr. Lewis, over at Clyde Mays, the
Richard
Baron,
Lewis, Richard Lewis of Clyde
Baron
Mays.
of Whiskey.
Hold on, let me give him a good read. Clyde Mays Whiskey, Alabama-style whiskey. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out on a great, smooth-tasting whiskey that's refreshing all day, every day.
Right.
Make sure you get some Clyde Mays at your local retail
How come you
liquor
don't have an
store.
Aganor
That's the most
something like that?
lively I've
Yeah,
ever
you
seen.
could have an Aganor.
Yeah.
I can make that happen.
Can
Just
you-
tell me, give me some copy, man. Give me some copy. Write some copy.
Well, maybe
He's-
you told me before. I'm
he's
not
actually-
Nostradamus.
He's actually done some of the voiceovers for our
I can
commercials.
tell.
It's what I've done.
For anybody out there listening, this Saturday
Yes.
we got a double header. It's kind of
Oh,
going to be pretty
boy.
cool. We will be broadcasting not in our studios, but live from the Casa de Monte Cristo in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Yep.
So if you're in the area, come down 10 o'clock. We'll be doing the live broadcast of KMA with our good friend Brian Glenn from Cigar Obsession,
It's going to be a great show.
who has one of the literally biggest followings on social media.
He's about to hit 100,000 YouTube
viewers,
YouTube subscribers.
which I think you get like a diamond plaque or something. Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Just to
You
give
know
you-
what? We'll find out on Saturday.
Yes.
So-
That's for
but-
damn sure.
When I first joined Aganorsa, you mentioned him to me, and at the time I didn't know who he was, and you were like, "This guy is getting huge. And I've been on the show, and it's
people don't realize
I went on the show.
he's the guy as far as.
So after that, I was like, I better. So I contacted him. He was, really nice. He's like, yeah, when you're in Tampa, let me know. I was up there in January, and then he's like, yeah, come on the show. And I was on the show, and yeah, it's amazing how he's got a huge following.
Oh,
He's
man,
got,
it's crazy.
And his following is international.
Yes.
Literally. People listen and watch
Yeah,
this
he
guy
sent me
from
a
all over
chart.
the
He's
world.
like, he's got guys in like Albania. Like
Yep.
there's North Koreans waiting.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So Brian Glenn is going to be on our show from 10 to 2. We'll be broadcasting live from
10 to noon.
10 to noon.
Yeah, whoa, easy.
Hey, it's the booze.
The Bloody Marys.
10
Okay,
to
no
noon.
problem.
And then
at the Casa de Crystal. And
Yep.
then at 2 p.m. sharp, I'm going to be his guest on CO Live, a live show that he does.
we're gonna flip it.
We're going to flip it. I'm going to be a guest on his show from 2 to whenever, and we're going to broadcast it live. So we got nothing to do Saturday morning and afternoon. The Casa de
What better
Crystal
place to
store.
be? The Bloody Marys will be flowing. The beer will
In
be.
Boynton Beach will be a good place to hang out, and I'm pretty sure by the time we're done with the show, I will be obliterated.
And I'm going to have to drive him home again. It'll be a fun time. Make sure you tune in then this coming Saturday, the 6th of October.
All right,
in the year
everybody get home
2018.
safe.
Thank you
for
all
coming.
for being here.
Hey,
We all
let's
appreciate it.
Keep
Hey.
it lit, and let's check out with jazz
Hey,
hands.
keep it lit,
Jazz
jazz
hands,
hands, everybody.
Jazz
Jazz
hands.
hands. All right.
Yeah,
Keep it lit.
I like to smoke 'em like Sir Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar.